Welcome into the Cam Strick Podcast, episode number 170, presented by Hair Club for men, women, animals, dude. If you think about it, dude, if you really think about it, an animal who's losing hair, you need that animal to get more hair.
Yeah,
grandmothers, dude. Grandmothers should not be subjected to being out there and being, hair follically challenged. I'll tell you that right now.
We're not catering to the grandmothers. We're
Well,
not catering
they
to
listen,
animals,
dude.
Andy.
They
We're
listen.
catering to men and women. We're catering to men and women who are losing their hair, usually at an early age. But you can get it anytime you want. But it's easier to get it done at an early age.
How old were you when you started losing it?
Shit, man. I think I was, I've always had kind of funky-ass hair anyway. But I think I started losing it 27-ish. I started losing.
No, I think it was probably before that.
26, 27.
Really?
It was a little bit more.
You blame it. You blame it on the painkillers. Can I tell you the real reason why you?
No, it's hereditary.
Oh, is it hereditary?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, when you're stressed out, you lose your hair, homie. And when you're coming off painkillers and you're withdrawing so bad to where you're fucking pissing out of your ass and you can't,
When you were doing the painkillers, you said you'd wake up and you'd find hairs on your pillow.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't help anything. Listen, stress causes all kinds of shit.
You know what else caused it?
What?
You used to bleach your hair, dude.
That back in the day, you fucking
it
ain't
was
right.
a terrible look.
Terrible.
It's actually embarrassing. In fact, if you tried to do that right now, like on this podcast, I'd probably have to suspend you for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
okay?
I'm not.
I'd probably have to do the show by myself for the people out there. Just do the show by myself for a few weeks.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of listeners. Listen, when I did that, I used to dye my hair all the time in school because when you play juniors, unlike you, that when you're in the playoffs, all the guys did in the late 90s, early 2000s, I fucking dyed my goddamn hair. And then, that didn't help, but it's also hereditary, man. Like, my dad's got a pretty good head of hair, but my grandpa's both didn't. Both shit kickers. Shit kickers.
Hold on the mom side too.
My mom's dad, who was an orphan, he lost his hair. He had a receding hairline.
Okay, let me ask you this: if I put your grandfathers on both sides, your dad, you and me, in a cage match. Hold on.
Yeah. You get a gun?
No, nobody gets a gun.
Who loses?
Yeah. Who's the last man standing? Your two grandparents. Hold on, Denny. Who's Cam's dad?
Yeah.
You and me. Who's the last man standing?
I'd probably say I never met him, but my grandpa Pete was supposed to be fucking shit kicking motherfucker. Now he died at an early age, but my both the grandfathers would stand. Then me. I'm tougher than my dad as far as like beating him up.
Your grandfathers.
My grandfathers were bad, dude. World War II motherfucks. The Korean War, the Forgotten War. They killed people. We don't do that.
There's some stuff going on right now between Russia and Ukraine. You following that?
Shit.
Are you following that?
No, this happened before, Andy.
Because you didn't know. Well, okay. And guess what? The U.S. is like sending them weapons. What kind of weapons do you think they send?
Andy, don't even.
What's in that box? Is it like a box from the UP? Like the FedEx guy gets off the truck and said, "This is from the United States."
We send weapons to a lot of people that took advantage of the weaponry that we gave them. And if you look around the Middle East right now, you could see example after example of our weaponry that's in all kinds of different countries in the Middle East. Okay, we're not going down that fucking path. Ukraine, Russia, you got to figure it out.
How come they don't like each other?
Because they're right next to each other, and there's oil involved. What do you think?
It's
political, and there's a bully tactic, and there's bully tactics. It's like China's a bully tactic with Taiwan. Look, it all is
Taiwan. I think they flew close to the border, just like a little bit of threat there.
Because they're probably like, get off my fucking shit, get off of me. Get on with yourself. That's what they're saying. Help us, probably. Look, we don't know. I don't know enough about it. You certainly don't know enough about it.
Dude, I went to CNN.com last night just to see if there were any
You would go to
headlines out
CNN.com to fucking get your news. One-sided. Go to CNN and just read CNN news. No, that's not what you do. And you don't watch the news anyway. Read your shit. Read your shit, and then read the opposite side of the shit, and then make your decision. Read both sides of everything. You never, even if you're staunch on something, always read the other side.
You got to read the rebuttal. You have to know both sides.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah.
Or you're going to look like a goddamn fool.
And you don't want to look like that.
No, you don't.
Okay, let's go back to the cage match. Who's the last one? I'm in there. Don't forget that I'm in there.
I mean, you're going first, obviously. I don't know why you even put your name in the fucking hat there. But, I mean, my grandpas are tough. And then, my dad, look.
You can't answer the question.
I was bigger than my dad at a young age.
Were you?
Yeah. My dad's 5'9".
Somebody told me last night. Or no, the other night. We had our event.
Great event, Andy. You did a great job on that, dude.
Dude, it was so much fun, man. Brody came out. We had a lot we met so many listeners.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to put a face to the listener.
Love it.
So Clint, all these dudes, man. Who are the guys that you gave the sticks to? Like they're wearing like their jerseys.
Yeah, they love it.
What's the name of that guy? I forgot the name. You certainly don't remember.
I don't remember names, but I know people, and I know how to treat people. Like I've known them for 18 years. That's what I do. I could walk into a room.
Mike, you meet Mike, the older guy, Mike.
I met everybody.
Yeah, cool.
I talk to everybody. Okay, I'm a social motherfucking butterfly. When I walk into a place, I start the fucking
Cam
party.
walks in like he's walking down the runway in like a title match of like the WWE. Like he's walking in, music playing.
Well, people are waiting for me.
Like you might as well have like the belt over your shoulder.
Well,
you know?
I could have brought it. But the point is, that's what I do. I walk into a place and I just take it over in a good way, not a bad way. And I talk to people. Even if I don't know them, I'll go up to them and I talk to them. That's what I do, especially in an event like that. We had a great time. Four Hands Brewery. What's up, baby? People are crushing our fucking booze. I got fucking drunk that night. Jeez Louise. I had a fucking nice little party bus. We got fucked up. Then we cruised back to my house and partied.
Who's the limo driver? What was his name?
My boy Brian.
Give him a shout out.
Oh, Brian from
Brian and I are going to be doing some business together here.
He's good.
Very, very soon.
I go, get to my house, baby. Let's go. Pack that cooler up. Get the cooler.
See, I wanted to go on the bus. Cam actually called me and said, Kate is making me invite you to come on the bus. That was what she said.
Not to. And you know what? I don't invite people to do things unless I could take care of them.
Well, I wanted to go on it because like Laurie was like, man, we should have taken we were driving, leaving home. Uber.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, thank God
downtown.
I had to leave my car downtown.
Oh,
Uber.
boy.
So we should have gone on the bus.
You did?
Well, yeah. But here's the deal.
Rookie. You're lucky. You're lucky it's a fucking piece of shit Volvo.
Well, it's not.
Those fucking gangsters don't want nothing to do with that.
No, we Ubered down there. But no, I had to carry a bunch of stuff. Because I had to bring things like some pint glasses and stuff like that, and a bunch of beer. I don't know. I had stuff to bring down. T-shirts. We had some T-shirts that we gave away. Probably the ugliest T-shirts we've
They are
ever.
fucking hideous, but it was actually comical.
So I couldn't bring all that into the party bus, but it looked like you guys had fun, man.
Yeah, Andy, there's one. I'm not good at a lot of things. I don't know how to fix my house. I don't know how to fix my carburetor. I'm not good at things. I'm very one-dimensional. But goddamn, you know what I'm really good at? I know how to have fun. Mm-hmm. I'm the funnest fuck ever in life.
I can do that too, actually.
I am the funnest motherfucker ever. That's my claim to fame. Fuck hockey, fuck podcast. I'm fun. Maybe too much fun. And that's why I get myself in a little jam. But I know how to have fun. And I will spend the money.
And your girl likes to have fun, too.
And my girl knows that.
And it was fun. I met the neighbor, Wes.
Handsome mother. How handsome are my goddamn... Jesus Christ.
And Jason, your boy. Listen, I'll give everybody a shout out.
Badass.
They're like my friends now.
I told you. They're the coolest motherfuckers in the world. That's
funny.
what you do.
They're funny.
You have cool people. Yeah. I have a ton of friends, but I have close friends that I hang out with. I know a lot of people, I should say, but I have a tight group of
All right, so people who don't know, listen, we've got this beer out. And listen, I'm getting messages, Cam, you probably are too, left and right from people out of the town in Canada. Can we get that in Canada?
Can't do it, homies.
I know, man.
We can't
and
do
I
you guys,
feel horrible about that, but like there's like...
Fucking UK wants us to... We can't do it, dude. It's like... Good.
Not allowed to.
Sorry. Like...
You can't ship booze, apparently.
Pavel Buchnevich, who just played in Seattle, who just got cleared from COVID, played in Seattle, ain't allowed to go across the border for another how many days? We can't send booze up there.
I got an update on that.
Jesus Christ.
He got in at like 2 a.m.
He had to sit by himself.
2 a.m. But he's like the coolest cat in the world. Like he probably went sightseeing in Seattle and was like,
dude, fuck yeah.
Like he's not the guy that's gonna be like, what the fuck am I can't? He's like, whatever. This is so stupid. You guys are all idiots, but I'm gonna go enjoy myself in Seattle for the day.
I'm staying in Seattle. Wait. Oh, I got. Sorry, team. Team, what'd you say? Team Blues. Oh, you're leaving me in Seattle by myself, and you're driving.
Well, and it's not their fault.
No, it's not their Blues' fault. I'm saying like if I'm him, I'm like, I'm cruising around town.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat fucking seafood. I'm gonna mingle and sniff around.
Probably catching salmon. They're probably throwing it to him at the market.
Especially if I'm single, I'm like, fuck yeah, go ahead, dudes. I'll meet you up there. Yeah. Oh, I'm sniffing around that fucking town. Holy macaroni!
What are you sniffing for?
Vagina. I mean, obviously.
So anyway, he got in at like, from what I understand, like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, so they had to make some special arrangements to get him there.
How about Justin Faulk's comments?
What do you think of that?
Fucking, I agree with everything he said.
Tell the people what he said.
I don't know verbatim what he said, but
do I need to tell it?
Well, do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, then Jim.
Well, whatever. He was asked by one of the guys who asked him a question on a Zoom call. Just easy little question. Hey, you excited to go to Canada? Because obviously they hadn't been to Canada in a while. And you go back to last year, they didn't go to Canada. They went to Winnipeg this year. They've been some other places maybe. But he said, not
Tim
really.
Thomas, yeah.
He said, I'm not really. He said, not really excited to go to Canada with everything going on there. We're looking to get in and get out, basically.
No shit you are. And everybody's like, what are you talking about, Justin? Fuck Missouri. I'd rather live in Ontario than Missouri.
Who's saying that?
Oh, just people on Twitter. I'm like, bitch.
Was that a shot, though? I mean,
I'm like, well, no. He's just like, give me the fuck.
If you're Canadian,
why?
do you take that personal?
No. The Canadians like, why the fuck you want to come here anyway? They're probably like, no, you're going to have to go across the border. You're going to have to quarantine. All the rules are fucking different. So, no, why would you be excited?
And let me just say this,
and you're not playing in front of a full house. Yeah. So why the fuck would I want to go to Canada?
And it's Justin Faulk, who grew up in Minnesota. He's played hockey his entire life. He might as well be fucking Canadian.
No shit.
Yeah, he is Canadian, basically, at the end of the day.
They say, I'd rather live in Ontario than Missouri. I'm like, I don't know if that's a true state. Have you been to Missouri? I've lived in both areas, and I'm just telling you, I love my Canadian folk, but fucking living in Missouri, man.
No, there's great parts.
You're as free as you can be, man.
Well, right now,
you are no matter what, because you're in the United States, home of the fucking free, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the point is, you could do Canada is so much different in so many different ways, and like he just was just saying, like, I don't want to have to deal with it anymore. Like, everything's okay here. I don't want to play in front of 50% capacity. I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit. If it's normal, then fuck yeah, we love playing. Who doesn't love playing in Canada? We love Canadians. We love going
here's
to
the deal.
houses.
It's rare to see a player answer a question like that, honestly.
I love it.
I mean, all the Canadian players, they agree with him. It's not like he's bashing Canada. Don't look at it like he's bashing Canadian people, because he's not. He's just saying, hey, with everything going on there, like, who the hell wants to be in Canada?
No
Canadians
shit.
Don't like what's going
exactly.
on.
They're
stuck inside their house. At least in British Columbia, they can have 50% capacity for these games. But I had Steve Coolius on my radio show.
I like him, man.
You like Cooley? Cooley's cool,
he's
man.
Cool as shit.
I had him on my radio show last Friday. And he basically said, well, back in the day, I mean, this is the difference that's going on right now. He correlated it to the COVID situation. He said the Americans in U.S., they just do whatever they want. He said in Canada, back in the day, USA went one way, Canada followed Great Britain and whatever, kind of, followed their lead. And it still shows today. The Americans say, you know what, we're going to do whatever we want to do. Although it wasn't always like that. But Canada's kind of following different rules.
What do you mean it's always not like that?
Well,
for the past 200 years, U.S.
some
has done,
parts of America have been more COVID restrictive than others. Is what I'm
U.S.
saying.
doesn't follow other countries, homeboy.
No, you're right.
They
I know that.
Us.
What I'm saying is, with all the COVID, you could go to, you could be in one state and have some freedom. You can go to California and all of a sudden have no freedom. You
Oregon,
know what I mean?
they're all fucking going crazy over there. Yeah. But my point is, like, the Midwest is like the easiest place ever to live. It's cheap. You can fucking do whatever the fuck you want here. If you want to be an entrepreneur in the U.S. or the Midwest, you could do whatever the fuck you want. You have the most freedom possible in the U.S. So people like, I don't know.
You hear about that dude in France who he's like a risk taker, like a daredevil type person. Like everything, I'm not. Like I would never jump out of a plane. I don't bungee jump.
Fuck no.
Like, would you go bungee jumping? Nah. So this dude, he went like 2,500 miles in a barrel like several years ago across the ocean. Like just in a barrel, dude.
Yeah.
So now he was going on like an excursion in France, like month-long excursion to get from one side of the ocean to the other, whatever, in a canoe, and he died. He's 75 years old, dude. They just found his body. Wow, he's 75.
So you said from one side of France to the other in the ocean? That doesn't make any sense.
He's in the ocean in a canoe.
So he's from, so you're in France, and he
is French. I don't know if he was in France.
Well, tell me where he went. Did he go across the English Canal?
75. Brody's 75 years old.
He might have tried to go from France to England, which is right across the English Channel, which is so
it was going to take
hardcore.
Like a month. He left at the beginning of January.
Why don't you get your story straight before you fucking say
I just want to give a shout out to his family and everybody else, dude,
Andy.
Because he didn't survive the excursion.
Andy, why don't you give shout outs to families that actually kind of deserve it? This guy took the risk and he rolled the fucking dice. Don't get in a goddamn canoe in the ocean.
Where was he going, Brody?
Jean-Jacques Sabin.
Yeah.
He's going across the Atlantic.
To where?
The Atlantic, see?
Oh, he's going across the Atlantic?
The Atlantic, yeah, in a canoe.
Well, you're an idiot.
So he lost communication with his
canoes don't
people.
have a fucking CB unit?
I don't know. He lost but no, he sent out a couple of signals. You know what those signals are, right? Like the panic signals, like something's not
SOS.
right. He sent out a couple of those.
Mayday.
And then they found the canoe overturned, but he was inside the cabin of the canoe. What kind of? This is not the canoe that you have in Franklin County, when you go on that polluted lake that you go on, this
I
is
don't go to a polluted
well,
lake.
this is not the same canoe.
It's
You're
not a
thinking
canoe,
of like
you dumb
that
fuck.
silver canoe.
I think you're dumber than fuck, and it's showing. It's not a canoe. It's probably a sailboat.
It says a canoe, doesn't it? It says canoe.
Does it say canoe?
Yeah.
Like a fancy canoe
Yeah, it
that
says a
has like
canoe.
shit. Does it have a motor? Does it have a sail? Canoes don't have sails. Canoes don't have anything but just a fucking barreled out canoe.
I know, and it said it had a cabin, so I don't know what kind of canoe we're talking
Well,
about
you're
here.
fucking confusing.
That's what the
shit.
story
you
says.
try to get. That's not a goddamn. It's a homemade fucking unbelievable pair. That's a sailboat. You dumb shit.
No,
It's
it's not
got
a
God
sailboat.
navigation
It
system.
looks like a speedboat.
That's not a canoe.
That's what they called it.
Well, they're
So
dumb
I think
too.
in France they call it canoe.
Quit
So if
picking
you,
dumb
if you
stories.
read the story, I think I saw that on I don't know if it was CNN.
No, it was
or,
CNN or MSNBC in your fucking household.
Yeah, I'm just doing my prep work for this
Yeah,
show.
watching the
This
same
guy,
bullshit.
He sounds like a crazy. I mean, 75 years old. At what point do you just cut the cord? You just say, you know what, I probably shouldn't do this.
Because some people, they crave that high.
Mm-hmm.
They crave the danger high, man. That's why people, these psychos do too with they kind of like what's it called when you play a video game like the video game Assassin's Creed where you jump on things? What's that called? Parkour. Do you watch these parkour?
Okay, so I don't know anything about that.
Okay,
I don't know anything about
I'm
this.
talking, and no one cares if you don't know because they already know that you don't know because you don't know anything besides hockey.
And boats. I know
you
a few things.
You don't know shit, dude.
A few
But
things.
these parkour guys will go on top of buildings and they learn how to jump and grab onto different edges and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll climb up a fucking huge, tall high rise in China and then fall off and die.
Dude,
like,
I've seen those people.
damn,
too.
dude, like that kind of
Like with
shit's
the
crazy.
suction cups, they
So
try to
here's my
climb like the St. Louis Arch and shit like that.
Yeah, they did that. And a guy parasailed off one time,
Parachute.
parachute, and he landed on and he
arch.
fell, and his family's watching. And he slid down the side of the arch and died. Yeah, dude. That was in the 80s.
I remember that.
was
I
neat.
remember that.
Here's my point. Here's what I'm trying to make. If you do something like that, and this is part of your gig where you're jumping off, you're scaling fucking mountainsides like a fucking mountain goat with no, no safety valve, and you die, it's like, oh, okay. It's just like that old man going in a canoe. Like it wasn't a canoe.
75. He was in his
like,
prime
well,
for these.
So it's like
type
you're gonna
of
give
things.
you're gonna give his family a shout out. That guy was asking
Well,
for it.
his family. I just want to give him a shot. I'm thinking about the family right now during
Well,
this
I mean,
difficult
how
time.
about just if I'm your wife, I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Oh, his wife.
If I'm his wife, he's like, I'm taking a canoe across the Atlantic.
That's not very
I
sensitive.
love
That's
you,
not very
family.
sensitive.
I love you, family. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are we doing? Are we raising money for cancer? What the fuck are you doing? I
don't know.
You're gonna die, and then now I gotta raise the fucking kid. Go fuck yourself. I'm
Who's
sorry.
the hockey player, Stephen Johns? He like
he
rollerbladed
do?
across Canada.
Yeah, that was cool, but that's not like risky. Dude,
Somebody
he's got a
else
team
did that
with
we
him.
had on too. I think Sheldon Kennedy did something like that too, didn't he?
We had him on.
Oh yeah, Sheldon Kennedy.
We had Sheldon Kennedy on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did. Okay, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, your
right.
memory, it's really.
Real
I mean,
bad.
it is getting
It's bad.
terrible.
Damn, I had a tough weekend, man.
You did.
I partied pretty hard, and I've been good about it, but I fucking partied hard this weekend. But everything's fine. Nothing bad happened. Kate gave me a B- for that night.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, and that's good.
Okay, so explain the scale here. So, because like when you went to Jason's party a few weeks ago,
Oh, God.
when you failed that one,
I got a D.
no, you got an F on that one.
No, I got an F on that one because I got it straight up. She pissed me off that night.
I know she left you.
And then I
she
was
left
weird.
you there.
I left.
Or
her
you
there.
left her
I
there.
left her
That's
there.
what it was.
And I was right down there. It doesn't matter. I left. Fuck that. No. Don't embarrass me. I'm out. No, I don't put up with that shit. And I'm not like tough guy, Cam, yeah, because Kate and I get along everywhere and stuff like that. But sometimes you just gotta get away.
There was some dude there
Sometimes
at
you
the
gotta get
party.
away.
I mean, he was like telling me he like wants to hook me up with a side by side. He's like, Strick, I got you. Dude. I'm gonna get you a side by
Yeah,
side.
20 grand.
Is that what they are?
Fuck yeah, good.
Probably gonna give me a deal on that.
Dude, side by sides are badass, man. They really are.
I know they
And
are.
You're looking for property too.
With Wes.
That's the coolest thing, dude. Get my boy to.
I know.
So Andy wants to do, and all you Canadian folk and Midwest people and Minnesota people, all you guys. Andy wants to get the first cool thing he actually said to me that he wants to like pursue is like 100 acres.
Not
And
even. Dude.
50 acres?
Whatever, yeah. I'm not looking to take care of too much, but
No, you don't have
privacy.
to. Yeah, you don't have to take. If you get 100 acres, it's just investment. Like it's all wooded anyway. You don't have to like. Yeah, I mean, if you had a ton of money, you know how much that's going to be to like fence in. But you don't have wild. Just let the wildlife go. Just you take it. You build a little fucking cabin on that goddamn. Take your time. And even if there's no cabin there, you camp out there with the kids. Yeah. You have your side by side. You have different things here and there. Now it's tough to go to the bathroom and stuff like that. Like until you invest. But Andy's looking
I'm an
for
outdoorsman. I'll be able to
not.
handle it. I'll be able to handle it. You bury that shit. That's what you do.
Bury what?
If you have to go to the bathroom, you bury it in the woods.
Yeah, but that's not. It's not easy to do. If you got kids like you do, you need to throw. You don't have the money yet.
That's a different story.
Like I liked where you're going with this thing, where he wants to buy property and build. You don't got the money for it.
Well, I'm going in on it with some family.
The wealthy part of the family, because they need money, because you can't afford to because right now, like, yeah, it's cute to have 100 acres for you and fucking Ty and little Ivy, but what if little Ivy has to go to the bathroom? Yeah, no, and you're going to be like, what?
There would be like a house on there, yeah.
Well, then how you can get the house, Andy?
Well, he says they come with houses. He said a lot of these properties have a house already on the property.
Well, you didn't say that. You didn't say you're looking for land, but if you put a house on that mug, it's going to cost you even more money.
Yeah.
Like, money's money.
House with land. But he's telling me, like, dude, you can get so much. In Missouri, dude, you get a lot for your money. All you have to do, and all you guys know this too, man, these farmers in the middle of Missouri, in the middle of fucking Minnesota, Oklahoma, in Canada, these farmers own all this land, and they fucking grind it, and all of a sudden they die. And the property tax on that land is so high. And their kids are like, I don't want to fucking farm. Right,
I'm living in the fucking 2010s.
They get left a bunch of
What
shit.
am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm selling this goddamn thing, and I want to sell it for cheap. Yeah. And you just fucking snag one of those piece of properties in the rolling hills in middle of Missouri. Dude, that was cool. You said that. Yeah. You better go. Who's got money? Who's going with you? Because it costs a ton of money.
You'd be surprised.
Of what?
How cheap it is.
No, I know, but it's still going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can just throw that away? Like, I'm just saying. Like, it's a cute thing that I like where you're going with it, but it costs you hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
A weekend getaway.
Yeah, I mean, you got money. I didn't know you had that much money.
People get cottages all the time up in Canada, whatever. They get a cottage.
And it costs money. Especially more in Canada, too.
And they rent it out and stuff.
Shit.
Airbnb.
The cottages they have in Canada, you could have down in the middle of Missouri for fucking 15 times less.
Dude, they're like $15 million on Muskoka. I mean, you look at
the...
sometimes I'll have fun with the real estate, look it up on Muskoka to see what they got. I mean,
it's
15, $20 million.
You got to score
That's not a cottage. Like, we got to settle down with that cottage talk up in Canada. Those are
you
different.
Got money. You got money.
It's like my mansion. So you can't call your mansion. You can't call your like 11,000 square foot
but do you
mansion
blame,
a cottage.
But this is what we always say to all these guys that have coin. We're like, what do you do with it? What are you doing cool? And some guys are like, well, I'm like, okay. But most guys are like, no, I got a motherfucking cottage in a Muskoka. I'm like, there it is. Because every time you go to a cottage, you wake up and you put that bacon on, and you don't eat bacon, but the whole cabin smells like bacon. The kids get up and you're looking and you have your coffee or your Bloody Mary, looking over that lake when the sun's rising and you're the first one up. It's the best feeling. And then you jump in that lake like, I'm going to fucking get my shoulders going, baby. I'm going to tread water, do some push-ups in case you want to bounce around at a bar or something. You look jacked.
Ty had a sausage, egg, and biscuit from like this spot we go to in Kirkwood. The guy, normally he gets like egg and cheese. The guy said, you want bacon, ham, or sausage on there.
You're like, oh my God. Ty, you're not allowed to eat that, Ty. You're like, fucking right, Ty.
I was like, I don't know, Ty, what do you want? He was like, sausage, I love sausage.
Good.
Dude, he ate the shit out of that, too.
Jesus, Andy, please don't look. Like, I know you want to be healthy.
Well, dude, I let him know whatever he wants.
I know you want to be healthy and stuff, but let the kid fucking eat some goddamn meat, dude, so he could grow. Just let him eat some meat here and there. You don't have to fucking force him red meat all the time, but the kid wants to get a fucking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit.
You let him do it?
Let him fucking have it. Okay. Good God.
All right, let me ask you this.
He worked his ass off all fucking week. You know, he's the cutest kid in the world. He's a good kid. He skates hard. And if the kid wants a fucking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, then give him one. Mm-hmm. Are you going to piss me off?
Are you evaluating his skating?
He looks good, man. He's skating hard, dude. He's skating hard.
Well, getting them to skate hard all the time, that's the biggest challenge. You know? And it's a challenge for NHL players.
There's only so much I can do.
Challenge for NHL players, too, some of them. You know, you just got to get them to skate hard all the time.
That's true. But
some
the
guys
kids
do
in
it,
NHL, yeah, but they're so skilled to where they could take little nights off.
Man.
Like, Ty just has to do it, dude. He's got to work.
Yep.
If he wants to do it, he's got to work.
All those kids. All right, listen, you saw the Jim Matheson, longtime reporter in Edmonton. I know Jim, dude.
I got my take on this.
Leon Draisaitl now.
I got my take on
Hold
this.
on. Like,
Go
so
ahead.
obviously, we all know that he's, one of the biggest names in the NHL.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension right now in Edmonton. A lot of frustration.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a good idea that these guys keep getting paraded out to the media every day. And maybe they should be.
Fucking
but,
right they should.
They are the face of the team. But, it's
Andy, get on.
when it gets a little uncomfortable between the media and a reporter. Like, what was your take on that whole thing?
Here's how I look at it. Leon, I love you. Awesome dude. You're a fucking great player. But like, if I'm a reporter and I'm busting my ass, I'm working for the fans, and the fans want to hear from you. They want to know you're making a ton of money.
Yeah.
You guys you're fucking terrible. And yeah, you're having a great year, but your team's terrible. I'm asking you questions, and I want fucking answers. And it's not just me as a dick reporter. Maybe he's a dick, maybe he's not. I don't give a shit. But he's speaking for the fans. And the fans want the fuck to know what the fuck's going on.
That reporter's been there for
I know, he's a Hall of Famer.
Decades
He's a Hall of
and
Famer.
decades, yeah.
So I give him a little respect. And you know how I am with writers and reporters sometimes. Like, I get pissy with them
Yeah.
too. But this guy's like...
Pissy,
well,
that was the word that was
I know,
used,
well, that's
man.
why I
Why are
use
you
it
being
again.
so pissy?
Well, why is he being pissy? Well, why don't you answer it? And if I'm Leon Draisaitl, I'd be like, because we're motherfucking losing.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking pissed. Not like, I'm not pissy.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you are pissy.
I know. Like, don't. Here's the thing.
Come on.
You can be frustrated. You can be mad. Don't get tough with the media, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's no like real tough exchange going on, don't all of a sudden become the tough guy. Like, nothing made you be tough. You're being arrogant. You're being defiant. And if you don't want to answer the questions, you don't want to deal with the media, man. Like, listen, as a star player, you don't have to go out there. You can just tell the media. Tell your PR guy, I'm not going today.
Well, you should go.
I'm just saying.
Well, fuck that.
But if you're not going to answer, they weren't like hard-hitting, edgy questions.
Why don't you give me something?
It was like
Andy,
this. It's hard
who
to
are you
ask
kidding?
questions every
Why
day.
am I defending this
Yeah,
guy?
Yeah.
I'm not in this. I'm not a journalist. I'm not you. I didn't go to school for it. I don't sit there and ask questions. I
wouldn't take it personal.
No.
From a player.
But on the other hand, though, I'm here every fucking day. I'm grinding too, and I'm speaking for the fans, and the fans are vicariously going through me to ask you a fucking question. Answer it like a man. And if you're like, why are you pissy? I'm not pissy. You're like a little man. No, you should be mad. And why don't you explain why you are? Well, we're not getting the puck out of the zone. And I didn't do better on this. And da-da-da-da. Say something. Because you're not talking to him. You're talking to the fans that are paying your fucking ticket. They're going in there and supporting you.
Edmonton, man. I don't know why every year,
And I like Leon, by
every
the way.
year, everyone expects this team to be better. I can't put my finger on it. Everyone just... It's easy to say the goaltending sucks, and the goaltending isn't good.
It's terrible.
But that's the easy part.
It is.
We're at the point now, it's more than that. Although they had a big victory the other day against Calgary, right? They came back and won that game.
Yeah.
And maybe that's going to jumpstart them.
Maybe.
Listen, I would say, and I don't know, we said it weeks ago, Brody, he put the clip out there. I remember saying, hey, like, are they even going to make the playoffs? This is back when they were in like a relatively comfortable playoff position.
Yeah, you said it.
But I watched them live. And when you watch a team live, you see body language, you just see what they have.
You see
on
they got
the team,
two players taking over.
and you're kind of like, dude, they're just not that good.
I know.
When you compare them to like the legit good teams that are out there, like a St. Louis or a Colorado, even a Vegas. I watched Toronto, like they're not that good either. You know what I mean? They kind of have like one more player. They have like one or two more good players in Edmonton.
Yeah, but the deficiencies are there with Edmonton, meaning like they let a lot of goals and they go track meet back and forth. They rely on 4 or 5 guys, maybe 2 or 3 guys in Edmonton, just like you said.
And rely on the power play.
And the power play, and it's like the 5 guys, and we know who the 5 guys in Toronto are. We know the couple guys in Edmonton, and they got a couple more, just like you said. But it's the same style. It's go track meet. And they beat the Blues the other day with the track meet kind of style.
Yeah, but the Blues had nobody
They
in
had
the lineup.
nobody in the lineup, and it's fine. And we're not Blues, whatever.
It's like the Blues beat Vancouver. I'm not going to go crazy about it. The Blues were the better team, and Vancouver was missing a ton of players too. So
they were on their 10th goalie. They're on their like 10th goalie.
So the Blues
something.
know that they didn't play the real Canucks, but they still won the game. Man, did what they had to do.
And like they wanted to go to Canada. They're like, oh, we're in Vancouver, 9:00 game, blah 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 blah. Like, let's get this over with, and they fucking won. They go to Kraken and they spank the Kraken around. Like, what? What are we doing? 5-0. Philly Russo's kicking it. I mean, come on. So like, you're right. So I don't know what to think about Edmonton. I do feel for their fan base a little bit, although I do and I don't, because you
but
have
what I was
the 2
gonna say
biggest
is
guys
this,
going.
though. I mean, yeah. So I said, are they even going to make the playoffs? And it didn't look great, but the reality is they're in the Pacific. So if there's one division they could they could slide their way in.
Yep.
If they weren't in the Pacific, I would say, wow, they've got some serious. But you know what? They're in the Pacific, so who knows? And I mean, I almost feel bad, though. When I see Edmonton's score at the end of the night, I want to see them start to win. Because I like McDavid. I like these guys, man.
I do, too. And
and I feel bad for that fan base a little bit.
I do and I don't, because just like I stated earlier, that you have the best player in the world, and you've had, there's other teams I feel way worse than Edmonton, because you have a Connor, you have a Leon.
Dude, it's on them, dude. I'm
is
sorry,
on you.
man. I know that they don't have a lot of great supporting
like,
cast, I guess, but...
Well, that's on you.
Why?
What the fuck are we doing?
Why can't they put the team on their back and just, you know what I mean? I hate to say, we see it in other sports, and I know you can't compare hockey to other sports and whatever, but
hey, I'll tell you.
I watch what Josh Allen and McHolmans and these guys do.
I was just going to say,
they're their version of McDavid.
The
and
best,
they've got talent all around them. I get it.
The best TV going, and I know we have a ton of Canadian folk and some European.
Better.
This fucking NFL football, boy, it's hardcore, especially when you get two shit-kicking goddamn quarterbacks that are freakish. These two, fucking Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, are so freakish in two different ways. Josh Allen he's a running back as a quarterback. Yeah. He will bulldoze you. Instead of sliding,
dude, he'll juke you.
He'll jump over you.
Oh my god,
he's crazy.
Honestly, I'm watching.
He might be better.
The both of those guys. Yeah, he may be better than Mahomes.
He might be better than him.
And Mahomes
in a different way.
Is like the greatest quarterback I've ever seen.
Watch Patrick Mahomes. He gets out of the pocket and he's just like blah 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 blah. He's got 5 guys on him, and all of a sudden you don't see him. Mm-hmm. You don't see him for a split second, and all of a sudden he spins off, and you see him again, and he gets his 15
You know
yards.
What's amazing about Mahomes and Allen and these guys is when the playoffs are at stake, when they play to their highest ability, dude.
They own life.
Oh my God. They play at a level that you don't see even from them at all times. They always play at a super high level, but when they really take it when they're trying to win as hard as they can, dude.
Listen, quarterback's the most important position in every
Those two
sport.
guys, I wish the game would have never ended. Let me tell you, here's my message to the NFL. You guys have the best product going.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. Women love it. You don't even have to be
because of gambling for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
But the games are short.
Football.
They're not college games. They're 3 hours long.
There's a lot of TV timeouts and stuff like that. But the football games, man, they just lock you in.
They fly by.
All right, 2 other things I want to get to. Right. Number 1, Keith Yandel, shout out. He's going to tie the record tonight. Doug Jarvis, 964. Tied tonight. He'll break it tomorrow night. So he'll break it. He'll break it the day that we release this podcast. We're recording on Monday, so he's going to tie it tonight. He'll break it on Tuesday. And can I just say one thing though? And listen, congrats. I don't look at Yandel some people are how could he never get hurt? He's soft, whatever. People try to chirp his. He has played with a broken jaw and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's gotten hurt and whatever. And he's played through injury. You can't play that long in the NHL without ever getting hurt. Now he's not a physical player. You got to play through injury.
It is weird to think
but it's weird. But let me just say that here's. I don't look at it like that. I look at it how has this guy not gotten COVID? You're telling me everybody else on that team gets COVID but him? Okay, so apparently he had it in the offseason. But, so, Keith Yandel, they need to take his immune system and just put it in an in-glass case.
Let me answer the question
and put it in the Hall of Fame. Because every defenseman on that roster, I think, has had it except him.
You want me to answer the question for you?
Go ahead.
Why do you think the football players didn't get COVID once the playoffs started, homie?
Well, why do you think the NHL is switching that now as we get down the stretch?
Do you think nobody in the NFL had a positive COVID once the playoffs hit?
Right.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Could you imagine Mahomes?
Funny
we're going to tell the NFL,
works.
hey, Mahomes and Allen are out tonight.
Funny how that works.
Because they're in COVID protocol.
I'm not saying money talks with Keith, and I'm not saying that's the case. But if you ask the question, and I'm just giving you an analogy on how I think that maybe that could have gone, although... Look, if he gets COVID, maybe down in Florida is different, but the NHL is not going to supersede something to give Keith Yandel the 900 games of something, right? So he had COVID, he's going to get, maybe.
Does Philadelphia care more about the record than they do winning? I mean, he's
in Philadelphia now.
I love Yandel, and I didn't like the way Bill Zito handled it in Florida before when they were trying to get him out of the lineup, and I think Zito Zito would probably admit that it should have been handled a little differently. But, I can understand what he and Joe Quimbo were thinking at the time because, listen, Yandel's had a great run. I've always been a huge fan of Keith Yandel. I pumped his tires, Cam, for years. I wrote more stories about this guy. Came on the pod.
We love him.
But he's minus 22, and he's probably donezo at this point. And so, it's nice that the Philadelphia Flyers, he's super tight with Kevin Haves. I'm sure Kevin Hayes had a big impact on him coming there in the first place, because he needed a place to sign. He was a UFA and whatever. So, he goes to, I think he was a UFA. Regardless, he goes to Philly. Remember us talking about where he was going to end up going. He and Kevin Hayes are tight. He's there. He's minus 22, and he's still in the lineup every game.
Yeah.
But, dude, does he get his COVID test, like, in his ear? Like, do they say, can I have your ear, like, not up his nose? How does he not get it, but everybody else gets it? You know what I'm saying?
It's a mystery upon all of us. The COVID
give
thing.
me your hand and we'll do the COVID test.
It's just why the fuck don't any of these cats get COVID in the NFL? Like, there's reasons for everything, Andy. Like, you don't have to fuck. You could read between the lines pretty good. Now, in this situation, I don't think it's that important enough for somebody like to sway the fucking rules and like risk something of something. But on the other hand. Look, it does happen, and it's proof in the pudding with the NFL. Like, it just doesn't go to zero. Like, get on with yourself.
Well, Phil Kessel's going to break the record. I think he's only like 30 behind or something like that.
How does that happen?
And he hasn't had COVID either. Oh, by the way, about Phil Kessel, I'm watching him play a little bit. He's actually playing like pretty good. I like Phil the throw. I've always liked Phil Kessel.
Get his ass on then.
I want to get his ass on. And you can have Phil Kessel right now for a second-round pick. If I was a team, like a Nashville or something like that, needed some scoring. Dude, I'm telling you right now.
I hear you.
Second-round pick for Phil Kessel?
Fucking right.
What are you waiting for? Get on it now.
You want to win that Dude, Nashville's pretty good.
And he's a winner.
And no shit he is.
And he still gets around the ice.
Not only is he a winner, by the way, he had a huge part in that fucking winning part. He was scoring fucking goals out. I think I played Crosby in a couple.
And he's intense. Like, he wants to win.
He is and he's not.
He's not in Arizona.
He is when he gets the puck.
But he gets pissy. That's the word of the day. When he's in Pittsburgh, like, and it's the playoffs.
Well, why don't you answer when you're pissy and be like, we fucking suck. Just say, give me
Draisaitl.
something. Draisaitl. Like, you're too...
Don't be like, I'm not being pissy.
Like, you're talking to your wife.
I know. I'm not... What are you talking about? I'm not being pissy.
Like, why do you think I'm pissy, motherfucker? Just say that to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what he says.
I don't know. Why do you think I'm pissy?
Why do you think, dummy? Put it back on him.
How about we're losing every game?
No shit. But I don't blame that question. You're just like, yeah, we got to do everything better. Give me something. Like, I'm a Hall of Famer, too.
Don't come on there.
Thank you.
This is not a...
I'm sticking up for the media.
What's his name?
Now.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. The running back?
Yeah. Marshawn.
Marshawn Lynch is my boy. Where it's the Super Bowl and they have to get on the podium,
That's his shtick, though. Leon.
That's his shtick.
And they were winning.
Leon's trying to have a little bit of a shtick, though, too, man. He's done this before.
Marshawn was winning. They're in a fucking Super Bowl. He doesn't give a fuck. This is his shtick. Mm-hmm. Where Leon, dude, you're making a ton of money. Your partner, two best players in the world, making a ton of money. Not just making a ton of money, to a point where it directly affects you as a team. That's how much money you're making.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you're fucking playing like shit and your team's playing like shit and somebody asks you a question over and over and over to your fan base, answer it like a man.
Just answer the question. Or just...
I'm sticking up for the media right now.
Or... Don't go out there.
Or don't go out there.
Don't go out.
No, get out there.
If you're in a bad mood, Cam, and you're not feeling it that day,
I get you.
And you're like one of the best players, biggest names in the world, dude.
You
just tell the PR stuff, listen, I got you tomorrow, man. Today I'm done. I'm not.
Maybe that was tomorrow. Maybe that was the tomorrow.
Maybe.
And he still did that.
Maybe.
So it's not that big of a deal, guys.
I don't know.
I always look at the other side of things.
I don't know how some of these professional athletes, I will say this, how they hold it together every single day.
You got to be, because you're making $12 million.
I know that, but I'm just saying. Like, it's not easy. For a head coach, Craig Berube, as an example here locally, he's got to face the media every day.
He goes toe-to-toe with them.
Sometimes twice a day.
He goes toe-to-toe with
but he's always like, he doesn't cross that. He's very respectful at the same time, Even though when he's a little annoyed.
He gets fucking mad. And I love it.
He gets annoyed.
And he's like, what'd you ask?
He doesn't get mad. He gets annoyed. I've been in the room when he does these, man. It
is whatever.
He just gets
annoyed, mad. Yeah. I don't give a shit. It's the same. Listen, when you annoy me, I'm pissed. Okay? When you annoy me, I'm mad. What's the fucking difference? So my point is, but at least Craig would be like, what'd you say? No, this is what we did. Da-da-da-da. And guys are like, come on,
don't be a baby.
You know what I'm talking about.
Don't be a baby.
I'm sticking up for the media now.
Here's the deal. Be in charge. Be in control of your press conference.
Be the fucking man.
Be in control.
Yeah. Turn back on me. What do you think I am?
Yeah.
How would I ask you?
I don't know.
The
Let
question?
Me ask you.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because the media, they get frustrated too. All right, last thing.
Go ahead.
How come when a goaltender goes on a run and they have success, automatically it's got to present it like there's like this big conflict? It's like one or the other.
Husso, Binnington? Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like Binnington, what he's done, he's had an unbelievable run. Dude, this guy won a Stanley Cup. And to think that all of a sudden he's not going to play a good game
You're
ever again,
crazy.
and like all of a sudden Billy Husso, dude, this is why you need not 2, you really need 3 goaltenders. I mean, even that Charlie Lindgren came up and he won 5 games. Think about how important those 5 games are that he won. Okay, started 4 of them, but he got 5 wins when Husso got hurt 1 game. Billy Husso's a really good goaltender, and
Really
anybody who's followed his path to the NHL knows that. I've talked about it over and over again. There's a reason why Jordan Binnington was his backup down in the minors, and just a few short years ago, Billy Husso was projected to be the best prospect they had at the goaltending position in the organization. And people really didn't give him enough credit. Struggled a little bit last year, his first year in the league. Whatever, man. This guy's 26, 27. He's ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and he's not all over the place either. And look, when you have a goalie dilemma, here's a bad dilemma.
Is it a dilemma?
Can I tell you what a goalie dilemma is?
Yeah.
When they both fucking suck. You get that? When one goalie's carrying it, that's not a dilemma. Just the other guy's got to get his shit straight.
Right.
Now you know you got a good backup. That's a good thing. The Blues don't lose. They're not losing.
And you know with either guy that you put in there,
They're going to
that
do
they're
it.
both capable
and
of
now it's
playing well.
competitiveness. Now it's like, fucking, let's go.
And-
Let's go compete together.
And maybe this is the best thing for Binnington
Maybe it is.
because he's making $6 million, whatever. And
They
you
get
know
smacked
what?
in the face, Andy.
And maybe it's like, well, you know what? I got to get my
Goddamn
not
right.
that he's not focused and he's not competitive because he's super
you
competitive.
need to take it over
but
the
this,
edge.
This is human nature.
Thank you. 100% is human nature. And now you're competitive. Now you think Jordan's is like, fuck it. No, he's like this. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'm going to bounce the ball. Oh, okay, bop, 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 bop. I'm going to try this. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, read, meditate. I got to take this over.
I want to get it back.
I want to get
need
it back.
that
What am I
feeling
doing?
back, yeah.
Now you have competitiveness. Now Billy Husso, who doesn't even sweat. He's just like, hi, I'm Billy.
I know.
Hi, and he's just like, not chirping him. I'm just
No.
like, I do the high voice because he's just kind of like,
Listen, I know Billy a little bit. Let me tell you about it.
nice kid.
He doesn't have a bad bone in his body.
He's a sweetheart.
So he is the perfect
Love
partner
him.
for a goaltender.
Sweetie.
He's not walking into that room where it creates any type of tension with he and Jordan
Not at all.
Binnington, man.
He's
Because
just like, I'm just going to go do my thing and
he's
smile.
just like, what?
Hi.
I'm from Finland. I am
I'm
nice.
from Finland.
And I can stop the puck, too, okay?
I like things. I'm happy. I'm a happy person. La, la, la.
But
and I'm going to go
this
stop.
guy at like 1920, I know it was the top league in Finland, but, there's still a lot of good NHLers that come out of that league.
He's awesome.
Dude, he's 1920, top goaltender,
dominant.
wins all the major awards, comes over here. Again, I've said it over and over. I'll never forget a few years back, preseason, he had like 4 or 5 appearances. Sometimes preseason, it's not a full game, whatever. It may just be a period or two. But he didn't allow a goal the entire preseason. Everybody's like, oh, my God, this guy, he's so nonchalant. He just plays like
He's just like, I'm there.
He's just
And
like,
it's
I'm there.
not like the puck's hitting off the knob of the stick. It's not like he's scrambling and all of a sudden it hits like Dominic Hasek, but not Dominic. No. He's there. He stops the puck and he covers it. And he's like, go fuck yourself.
Very few goaltenders are capable of just being great every year, number one, but also going through a full season where you're not going to hit some bumps in the road. Yeah. So the reality is, if Binnington, if it takes him a little bit of time to rediscover his A game, the good news is the Blues obviously know they have another goaltender who's capable, fully capable, and showing that he can carry the mail for a little bit. And, listen, there may be a time when Husso all of a sudden he loses it, and Binnington
Who
comes
saw
back.
my sister?
Binnington comes back in. So I just don't like you got to have one or the other. You need both. And
Yeah,
let's just,
I get that.
You know what I'm saying.
I get it.
All right, let's get into Doc Emrick.
Big Docky boy.
When you played for the Devils, and Doc, was Doc like?
Yeah, man.
How big of a deal was he?
You know what? I didn't. To be honest with you, because I'm honest every time he asks me. The big deal was Lou. I didn't know anything different. Even some of the guys besides Marty, I didn't even know who the fuck any of these guys were. Even the big guys.
Like who?
Like I don't know.
Like you didn't know Ken Danica?
Yeah, I knew Dano, I guess. I knew Stevens and Marty, but even Lip and Mad Dog and Pandolfo and fucking, I don't know, like Mavichuk and shit. I knew him, but I didn't. Lou was a guy because I just knew he was a guy that drafted me. The Devils weren't a big, loud team. Who fucking, who the big teams were at the time. I knew the Blues and stuff like that.
But even Marty wasn't very loud though, was
he?
he?
Wasn't that loud, but Marty was the best of the best, and he won.
Would he speak up?
Nah. Marty never said a word in the locker room.
Really?
Not really. He's a goalie. He drank his Sprite and he chilled.
Sprite during games?
Yep. And put a towel on his head. And guys don't because I was don't talk to Marty during the game. I'm like, okay. Because I always want to say, hey, I felt like comfortable.
And Cam's like, hi, Marty.
Hi, Marty. Did you see my breakout pass?
What are you doing, Marty?
Marty.
And everybody's like,
Marty.
Everybody's like, Cam,
shut the fuck up, you moron. Oh, okay, sorry.
Let's get to Doc Emrick.
Go ahead.
Hair club for men and women, Cam. 1,200 locations, over 1,200 locations, really, throughout North America. Go to our landing page and go there now. www.hairclub.com/Cam and Strick. $250 off your first consultation when you make your appointment from our landing page. You can also call 800-279-7878. 800-279-7878. Hair Club is like it's like Disney World. Cam, it's like Disney World for people who are.
You don't even know what the fuck to say. Listen, losing your hair sucks. It's fucking terrible. It ruins you. It ruins your confidence. It ruins everything in your mindset. It really does. It totally affects you. And people that have hair are like, well, you care about it. No, because you don't fucking get it. So all y'all, I get it, man. I totally do. I saw it firsthand looking in the goddamn mirror. My hair's falling out. It's a bad thing. You're doing videos. People are filming you all the fucking time, and all of a sudden the back of your head shows. You're like, good God. It's a bad feeling. There's options. You guys have options. Check it out. Just do your research on it. Tell them we sent you. Do your research. Get some money off, and figure out a game plan. And not to mention, figure out a payment plan too with
yes,
them.
yeah,
It's a
which
payment
they
plan.
will offer you,
dude. It's like $100 a month or whatever it is. Not even. No, not even. And now you're totally fixated. Your hair's totally fixed. In 18 months, you see it growing organically.
You'll be getting out of the pool like shaking your head. Yeah,
you'll be headbanging in a fucking lead singer in a concert in a band. You're a heavy metal band. You'll be fucking shaking your hair like goddamn Pantera back in 1991.
There you go. All right, CarShield and CarShield.com as well. You can rock out in the car, too, knowing that you're protected. Listen, you get the theme here with we're all about like protecting people with a number of different things. CarShield will do that for you as well. 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM, which I know that's the hardest part about this whole thing is just the fact that you have to.
Hey, can you talk?
You have to.
You burped in the fucking mic. Trying to chirp me.
You have to.
Karma gets you.
You have to mention that promo code. But whenever something goes down in your vehicle, and it could be a radiator, the alternator, the engine, the computer. I mean, something that's we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. When you're protected, you're paying a very small fee every month, and you have that CarShield satisfaction, that CarShield protection, man, and that CarShield peace of mind more than anything.
Look. You don't want to be embarrassed in front of people. And your car could be somewhat new and shit goes down.
You never know.
It's happened to me before.
I don't care if it's a month old.
Hey, how embarrassing is that?
It's a lemon.
And I like lemons. It's my favorite fruit. But the point is, I don't like lemon fucking cars and I don't like lemon people.
No.
So that means if you're...
Oh, my God.
If your son's a lemon, that ain't a good thing. If your son's a lemon, that ain't a good thing. Anyway, the point is, the car could be a lemon and your starter could go out. When there's a lot of people watching you and you start your car, it doesn't fucking work.
No,
you could have a Mercedes.
Dude, you're ruining the brand.
You could have a fucking Lamborghini.
Between that and your bleach blonde hair, you did a lot of things, dude, that just would not. I hope people don't find those pictures.
That bleach blonde hair, like I was dominating.
It's absolutely embarrassing, dude. Absolutely.
You think the girls are like, oh my God.
Yeah, they're like,
I watched
psychopath.
Who is this guy who's jacked that has $200,000 in the bank now that's drafted by, oh my God, he's got blonde hair. I'm not going to have sex with him tonight. Yeah, that's what they said.
The 40-year-old.
That's what, I was 17. They should be going, I didn't even know that I was underage when I was doing that.
That's so funny.
I didn't even think about it.
Oh, no, you didn't know. Well, in Canada, it may not have been.
I didn't even think about it.
Is it underage?
That when I was 17,
those women could have gotten in trouble, dude.
I didn't even think that way.
Those women.
So that my point on that was,
you're going to come out like 5 years from now and be like, you're going to call out the women.
Sue that poor woman,
who took advantage of you.
The principal of that little in elementary school that had sex with me when I was 17. I'm going to sue her for what?
Maybe.
But, no, that's my point is if you're a woman and she's banging a 17-year-old, don't feel sorry for the 17-year-old. That's a dream.
Well, you never know the situation. You never know the situation. You never know the situation.
Okay. My point is, when I was 17, I didn't give a fuck about 18-year-old girls. I didn't care about 19-year-old girls. I didn't care about 20. I wanted
those 40, women, though.
I wanted 40-year-old women when I was 17.
Can you describe what their mental state of mind is, though?
They want to get fucked by a 17-year-old cut-up stud that will do anything to them, and they'll fucking leave right off the bat when they're done with you. That's the best part of it. That's why I crave
That's what they want.
They'll fucking suck you off, and you do anything.
Okay.
And they'll be like this, see you later. And I'm like, see ya. And you go home, it's like the other girls will be like, I love you. I want to
have a relationship with you.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll call you. What's your phone name? And I'll leave. But the 40-year-olds will be like, I'll do anything to you. And get weird with you and do weird things to your body that no one's ever done before, because the prude girls at that age won't do it. Okay. So the 40-year-olds would do it. Right, well, although it's illegal for them.
Yeah, I know, I understand.
But
that.
I was an older. Okay.
All right.
Well, you didn't go through
Let's transition into Bellman.
Okay. Oh, but they don't care.
They know.
They understand.
Danny boy.
They know I partied.
Kenny, Dale, everybody. The Bellmans, man, I got to hook them up with some Cam Strick hard seltzer.
I need a new truck.
The mango lemonade, and you need a new truck.
I need a new truck.
I need a new car, too, man.
Andy, your Volvo ain't cutting it no more.
It's not?
That nerdy ass. Look, if it doesn't get robbed downtown St. Louis, that means it's fucking a joke. Get a badass truck. If you would have drove a
Dude,
fucking
it's the
Bellman,
racing series.
If you would have brought a fucking shit-kicking 35 hundo down the forehands, that thing would have got robbed in 2 seconds. But you brought your stupid Volvo. No one robbed it. That means they don't care about it, Andy. That's what that means.
Well, it's good. I wouldn't leave my Denali down there.
Well, you don't have one.
From Bellman. They'd never do that.
No shit, you wouldn't. But your Volvo, you would.
They've got the Buick GMC. Cam's looking at that Buick Enclave. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I see a lot of women in the carpool lane rocking the Buicks, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Men, too.
Tiger fucking did that back in the day.
But that Buick Enclave, it's great for the kids, third row. Captain seats. Cam's looking at that.
I'll take that goddamn thing.
The other
but
side,
I want a shit-kicking
Yeah,
truck.
well, the other side of the street, you got the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Yeah, you just go back and forth and just figure out the car that's best for you. One of our listeners was telling me he does drive a Jeep Cherokee, or Jeep Wrangler. He's like, he doesn't like you chirping that.
Was he in 10th grade?
No, he doesn't.
Was she in 10th grade?
Dude, I'm looking at one of those too. They're sick. They're super nice, dude. They drive like car. Those things. Go test drive one, Cam.
Andy,
I put some big tires on that for you. You would love that thing.
Get the fuck out of here.
You know who drives one? Ryan O'Reilly.
Ooh, a child?
Ryan O'Reilly drives one.
Yeah. Well, he's a hippie. Ryan O'Reilly could do what the fuck he wants. Anything he drives is cool. Not anything you drive is cool. So if you get a fucking Jeep Cherokee or Wrangler and you're like, I'm going off-roading. No, you're not. You're riding like shit and your gas mileage sucks and that thing breaks down.
You put the top down. You know there's such thing as like a Jeep wave? Like if you see another Jeep, dude, they wave at you and they honk the horn.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That makes my day. I mean, what the fuck do I care about that for? The thing runs like shit.
All right. They've got Dodges, too.
Man, Dodge ain't bad, dude. Fucking Yellowstone. They got the shit-kicking Dodge Rams, dude. They're cheaper than fucking
Dude, the guy
else.
who made our pint glasses, I'll give a shout out to Pat. Thank you very much.
Shit kicker.
He made the T-shirts, too.
The shit kicker.
Dude, he drives a dually.
Fucking, because he's a fucking man.
And I'm like, I've never seen one, so I had to meet him. He's like, you ever seen a dually before?
The fire captain.
He did a great job, though. He and his wife, though, with these pint glasses.
They're awesome, dude. That's my boy, dude. Patty Byrne, what's
the T-shirts, though, I don't... What's your take on the
Well,
shirts?
they weren't that good, Patty. And I love you, but I, we gave it to...
we gave them away. I think there's some homeless people walking around with some Cam Strick T-shirts.
We gave them away. And that's all.
Yes, we did.
But people loved it.
Actually, we tried to give them away.
I made some fan take his shirt off and put it on.
They didn't look that. Cam actually, when I showed it to him, he was like, "Oh, they're not that bad." And then he saw them up close and personal. But the pint glasses are sick.
They look good, man. Drank a lot of beer this weekend.
People love those. People love those.
I drink a lot.
So anyway, check out Bellman.com though. And
why didn't fucking Danny Boy come out there? I want to see him.
I'm sending him some beer.
Get him something, dude.
By the way, our beer is available everywhere, dude. All our hard seltzer. It's mango lemonade, baby. And it's available everywhere. I'm getting, I'll show it to you right now, text messages,
it's a good podcast when you
from
show
people
me. When you show me things on a podcast, it's really good.
Like sitting by the fire, Cam, and they're just like, you're just enjoying a little beverage.
I drank a shit ton of that, man, all weekend long, dude.
Did you? Oh, so you're drinking the hard seltzers too?
Well, I wasn't at the thing, but.
Dude, they're not too sweet. That's the best part about these.
All the women loved it.
Oh my God, they all love them.
Folk
This is the hottest drink of the upcoming spring and the summer. I'm calling it right now. It's
I'm
got
making
the best
scissor
looking
with
can.
I'm making scissor with it.
The best looking can, and if you put a little splash of vodka in there too, it's amazing.
Lemon vodka. Oh,
dude, it's amazing. And but it's not too sweet. Like a lot of these, like I'll say this right now, like Truly, those.
It's a broad drink.
What are they called? The Claws? The White Claws, dude?
I don't deal with that shit.
Those are terrible.
I don't like
They're way too sweet. Yeah. When my boy took us on the boat, in Tahoe, And
Your boy. You mean the guy that creeped
the
you
guy
out?
I hired,
Your 18-year-old boy that creeped
and
your wife
he drove
out
us
the whole
around.
night?
So inside the little store there, right where we had the boat, he's like, we're going to go get some beverages. He told me on the phone there's a store. Dude, all they had was like White Claws and
Of
Trulies.
course they did.
We pounded
You
so
figured it'd be
many
right
of
up your
those.
alley.
I never had a worse headache the next day.
Sugar, baby.
Ever, dude.
It's sugar.
So
Sugar.
our drink less than a gram of sugar and less than 100
Dude,
calories.
it's
too.
good, man. Trust me, the women folk loved it that night.
So it's again, it's available everywhere. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah.
Look at this by the fire yesterday. Somebody
Andy, I
sent
see
me
it. That's
that. You
great.
see that?
Andy, I see it. That's great. Andy, I see it. That's
Yeah,
great.
right
It's
by the
not
fire.
good for what the fuck we're
Right
doing
by
right
the
now.
fire.
No one gives a shit.
Well, you know what they care about?
What?
And people want to give the BBB, the Better Business Bureau review of Forehand's Brewing
BBB?
Company, man. They got an A++++++. I can tell you that.
Well, how's my girl doing?
Natasha?
Natasha, what's up, girl?
Dude, Natasha's doing
Your
great.
brother got a hold of me.
And
I like
Chris.
your whole family.
I think it was her dad, maybe. Was it the brother?
Might have been. It was her brother.
Yeah.
It was her brother. He's like,
What
that's
did
my,
he
that's
want?
my
He
sister.
wanted- oh, really?
Yeah, I go, what's up?
Dude, Natasha.
I like her a lot.
the
She's a
best,
sweetheart.
So where do you turn when looking for an honest business? Like
The
where-
BBB,
That's
baby.
where
The
you go,
B-Bizzle.
baby.
Let's go.
Reviews for businesses, charities, available 24/7 at bbb.org. You have to know the information in the other online review sites, whether they've been verified or not. Because if they haven't been verified, they're not accurate.
Yep.
It's like little Susie comes into work that day. What do you need me to do, boss? For the next 3 hours, you just need to fake names, give reviews over and over and over.
Yeah.
Unlike one of these other
That's
sites.
what the fuck they do.
Yeah,
man.
we don't do that.
We don't do that
So
shit.
check it out, bbb.org, and give them a call, 314-645-3300, but bbb.org. Find out if the business that you're considering giving your hard-earned money to, whether it's verified and what the real reviews look like.
Hey,
it's all
man,
free, too.
And I'll tell you what, these restaurants now, man, they're struggling.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
I love all you guys, man, grinding it. So, like, but on the other hand, as a customer, like, I want good food, too. So, like, I know that everybody's struggling, but, man, I've been going out to eat a lot. And it's hit or miss.
It is hit
it's
or
hit or
miss.
miss with fucking the food product and with the like service.
Yeah, I know.
It's tough right now.
It's very tough.
So like look, I know you guys are struggling, and I want to support everybody, but I also need to like look at my bank account because I'm not making that much fucking money. We're doing okay, Andy. We're doing good. Like we're fucking comfortable as shit. We live in wealthy areas. We're fine.
You live in Franklin County.
I
but
live-
it's the nice part of
You
Franklin
wanna
County.
Compare, huh? I can't get on with yourself. But the point is, like, I'm still not going to spend $80, $100, $300, whatever it is, how I feel at night, if I'm not getting good service and the food's not great. Like
So
I
find
still,
out.
find out.
All right,
Sorry, I
so
went on a tangent.
bbb.org, again, all the consumer tips you're looking for, any situation, including buying a car, even buying a mortgage, understanding your cell phone contract. Cam has no clue anything about a cell phone contract.
Well, the logistics go to my wife. Like like the money stuff and everything. Your wife takes care. You're not going to succeed. Get the fuck out of here. I wouldn't succeed if I had to take care of the money aspect of things. And I know it's pathetic, but it's just like the one thing I just kind of like. I'm like,
So check
I
that
make
out.
it. You take care of it.
And, of course, Daredevil Hockey. Get that protection. DaredevilHockey.com. Use that promo code Cam Strick, all caps. Skate lacerations are scary. Make sure your kid is protected. Real quick, neck guards. Where do you fall on that for kids?
Man,
because
I
of
don't
that,
know.
that poor kid.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of kids. I'm seeing them on the ice now wearing neck guards.
yeah, I don't mind that. Look, if you're a parent and you want to put a neck guard on, dude, that doesn't bother me. It's kind of goofy for the kid to kind of like it's hard to like move your neck and stuff. It's like
I had a coach back in the day who made us wear.
I'd rather wear a
one.
neck guard than like have to wear like a mask and a neck guard on the ice, which would probably do nothing. But the point is, a neck guard, man, the skates. I don't know.
Alexei
Put one on.
Yashin used to wear that turtleneck.
Yeah, and the Platanic.
Platanic did too.
From
Did he wear a neck guard or just a turtleneck?
he chirped me one time and kind of
Did
pissed
he?
me off. But then he apologized
Oh,
after
let's
the
get him,
game, and
have to
I was
get him
like,
on.
"That's not really nice of you. Get him on."
Yeah.
He was like, "Cam."
Hey, I like him already if he's chirping you.
No, he did, but he apologized, and I'm like, "That's very nice of you."
Oh, he said sorry?
He's just like, "Hey,
Did he
Cameron,
say
good
sorry?
game," or something like just like tap my stick the next game, and just like said, "Hey, Cameron."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh."
Oh, that was nice.
He was probably thinking I was going to Matt Bradley his ass.
Maybe.
I know,
Well,
but
which is very wrong to do.
I probably would have.
That's
But then
crossing the line.
you hit my and he's like, "Cameron," I go, "Fucking right." Like he's
can't.
making a lot more money.
That's
He's
the
better than
way-
me. And I'm like, now I like you.
All right, let's get to Doc Emrick.
Yeah, can we please?
Yeah, one of the greatest broadcasters ever, dude. He's got horses. Very interesting, man. If I had that voice, I would just sit around and talk to myself like all day long.
You do talk to yourself all fucking day long.
Okay, so Yandel getting his COVID test in his ear. There's a lot of stuff that we covered here in this edition of the
It is what it is.
of the Cam Strick Podcast. All right, enjoy Doc Emrick, brought to you by Hair Club. Episode number 170.
Right here, baby.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by CarShield. You know, nothing more frustrating, Cam, than when that engine light comes on and you know right off the bat you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars to repair your vehicle. Call 800-857-2481. Mention the promo code CAM or visit carshield.com and use the code CAM to save 10%. Yeah. That's carshield.com. A deductible may apply. Save yourself money. Sign up and get your coverage now with carshield.com. Now up to the interview. Different type of.
Hello.
Hi, Doc.
Hi there. How are you?
We're good.
Do you mind getting off the horse for a few minutes and doing a little interview with us today, Doc? What's life like for you right now? Like, look out the window, paint the picture.
Yeah.
Are we seeing the horses right now, Doc?
No. Actually, I'm in the Jeep, and the horses are probably about 10 miles away. And you have to remember that the horses are more a thing that my wife enjoys, and she rides occasionally. But the only horse that I've ridden in the last 30 years is the one outside Walmart that you feed quarters into.
Yeah.
And it's kind of embarrassing to stand in line with the 5-year-old.
No, it's not. Hey, listen. No, it's not. It's a lot of fun. Hey, are your doors off the Jeep right now? Is the top down, Doc?
No, we're getting high winds today like a lot of the country is. And so I'm parked in the parking lot of our post office where my next obligation is. And then I have to drive about 10 miles to the next one. But I'm looking across, and Cam, you'll appreciate this, at the athletic fields in Marysville, Michigan, the baseball diamond and the football stadium. And, of course, they're all empty. And people are coming and going at the post office with packages. It's an exciting time of year. Mm-hmm. But I'm parked with my back to the west because the wind is about 35 miles an hour. But I am looking forward to sharing some time with you guys because hockey's always fun to talk about, and especially with at least one old OL apostrophe comrade.
All those verbs he uses, Andy, it's crazy.
I know. Do you just say he must study?
No, I don't. It's just how I talk, and the dogs don't understand me. But anyway, as long as you guys do, that's good.
Yeah.
No, we absolutely do. And again, back to the horses, because I'm just an absolute animal lover. And I just want to know, like, how you have so many of them. I mean, don't you have to hire people to do stuff? Like, do you clean? Do you switch out the hooves and the cleats or whatever? Do you brush them down? Or?
Yeah, I've actually done the shovel once in a while.
Shovel, yeah.
Actually, my wife has a step cousin that not only boards them, but also does a lot of the care because we are archaic people born in the mid 40s. And as a result, that backbreaking work is a little bit behind us now. But we do have friends and relatives that do all of that because they love the horses as much. So there are a couple of them that are rescues. One was left starving in a field and was nursed back to health by a colleague here that lives near us and was placed on sale for $240 just for the vet bills. And I guess I don't ride, but I took pity on this little Arab female horse about 16 years ago during the lockout, during the 04-05 lockout, Cam. Yeah, I don't know where you were, but
fighting in American League.
He doesn't either. He doesn't either, Doc.
No. 45 fights in American League. That's when it was like hardcore in there. During that lockout. Yeah. That's what I was doing, Doc.
Yeah. Anyway, this horse is now. We estimated the age at the time. We had an expert estimate her age because she was abandoned at about 17. She's 32 now, and is basically the strong alpha horse in the barn of 6. So she's just had a good life. So that's all we wanted when we came up with her that day. But anyhow, those are sort of the fun stories of animal ownership. You know that.
Oh, man.
That's what comes from it. And of course, the dogs are the dogs, and dogs are very special to us. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on in our lives these days. And I still watch hockey, and I still love watching it. And I don't miss the planes and the hotels. I miss seeing some of you people like I used to. But I just enjoy watching the sport, whether it's college or whether it's pro.
I wish that's how we judged everybody, like in terms of what their age is. Like if Ovechkin was here, we'd be like, "You're 22, so like you can't retire from hockey like over the course of the next, whenever he decides to shut it down." So, have you had a day though, Doc, where you said to yourself, "Man, why did I stop doing it? Where I really miss it?" And you thought
Not
about
once.
getting back into it? Okay, never.
No, not once. And I think there were several people that thought that I would be sitting next to the fire some night watching a game saying, "Gee, I really wish I were doing it." No, there are other people that are so capable of doing these games. I just enjoy listening to them, and I sure like watching the action. And that's been the case ever since I saw my first game 60 years ago this month. That I really do like watching the sport, even now. And we didn't have the advantage in the United States of seeing every game that was played. For the longest time, we would maybe get a game a week when I was your age. We would get a game a week maybe after Christmas, after football was over. That's all we would get in some parts of the country where I was living. And if you were close to an NHL city, you might get more. But now with these satellite packages, we can get every game that's played every night. And we can get sometimes the home team announcers of if you have a favorite team, which in the NHL I don't. My favorite team of all time is still my favorite team, the Fort Wayne Comets in the ECHL.
Back in the day.
Bruce Boudreau's son is their coach. They are the defending champions of the playoffs, and he is still there. I don't know how much longer Ben is going to be there, but he's there now.
In some odd way, I knew that his son was the coach there. And I used to broadcast, Doc, back in the day in the UHL, the old United Hockey League.
Yeah.
And they had this legendary broadcaster, Bob Chase, who was, as you know, and I think he even told me one time he came down to St. Louis and interviewed for a job. I think Dan Kelly ended up getting the job or whatever. But, like, how big of a name is he, like, around your parts and, like, just in the minor leagues? Like, because he's pretty legendary, is he not?
Yes, he is, because he did the Fort Wayne Comets from the second year of their existence until he was almost 90 years old. He was still doing their games, and that's a lot of bus rides. My goodness.
Gosh,
till he was 90. Could you imagine?
Man.
See, this is what I respect about you, Doc, is that you said, you know what, I'm going to enjoy life. I'm going to step away. I've done it long enough. And then you say you don't miss it. Like some of these guys, man, they coach till they're 70-something. They manage into their 70s.
They won't go away.
I respect that you say, you know what, I got other things I want to do as well.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Bob had the advantage, too, of every game was either a home game or a game on the bus in a 3-state league a lot of those years where he was not away from home. After the game was over, they would bus back. He might get in at 2 or 3 in the morning, but he was always back home. So he had a home life, too. But when my wife and I had our 40th anniversary, which was 3 years ago, I roughly figured up that I was away from home about 5,000 nights in that time.
Oh my!
And that's that takes a special human being to focus on her family and on pets and on other things, and then to be there. We used to we had this analog calendar. This is probably more detail than you need. We had this analog calendar, and I would put X's on certain dates in each month, and those were our exclusive date nights. We'd go to movies or go out to dinner or something, but because there was the rest of the time in the winter especially was hockey, and we would carve those dates out, and those were like special days for us, and we'd look forward to those, even though I really loved the sport and she understood that and knew that going in. It was also something that we could both look forward to. But anyway, we now have all of these creatures around us, and most of the things that we do are to benefit animals. There was a book that is now in its second printing, and 100% of the proceeds go to hands-on care of animals, things like that. But anyway, you guys are in St. Louis, and I should pass along this. I'm not sure if this is going out live today, the 16th, but on the 17th of December, Craig Berube will be 56. And according to Elias Sports, Craig Berube leads everyone in the history of the NHL in major penalties with 240 and in fighting majors with 230 out of the 240. And I think that's special because of the human being that he is and the successful coach that he has become, regardless of what he did and what he needed to do to help his teams, whether it was Philadelphia or Calgary or Toronto, as a player. And you can identify with that, Cam.
Oh, well, and playing 1,000 games, being as rugged as he was, and he's just a great teammate. But you got to look at Craig Berube, and you know what? When you play that style and you turn into a coach, like you got to tell people too. Like I'm into the ins and outs of everything when it comes to the game. And when Andy and I had him on, we talked to all these coaches. If you're a coach now in the league, like you're watching hockey, you're talking to other players, other coaches, you're dissecting every second of it. And so he's into it. Like they're all hockey nerds. He doesn't look like a nerd by any stretch of imagination, but man, oh man.
He lives it.
He lives it, Doc. And you kind of have to. But let me ask you something. You've been around the game so long, all these decades. What's the most entertaining decade for hockey?
I don't know. You know, I will answer your question, but I'll also couch it with this. You wind up being a grumpy old man if you're always saying that there was a great time in this history, and then you're by the left-hand compliment, you're saying that the current era is not. No, it is. These athletes today and the scoring and everything else, but I enjoyed the 1970s and 80s, particularly the 80s, because there was a lot of scoring, and B, there was still, I think, the ruggedness of the sport that originally, and this is way back in the 1960s, sold me on it. My favorite player of all time as a fan was Gordie Howe, and the reason for that was this. He encapsulated the brawn, the scoring skill, the rugged nature of what was necessary, occasionally more so with his elbows than with dropping the gloves, and the gentle nature off the ice that won me as a fan to the sport. And I think we still saw that combination of scoring skill and brawn, although it was in different players in the 1980s. And although it's a different kind of courage that's required to play the game now, I'll never forget Barry Trotz. When he was coaching Nashville, we got to talking about that because he had coached in different eras. And I said, you know, it seems like the courage is that was necessary to play the game is gone. And he corrected me. He said, no, it's different. Because now the courage is to go out and block shots. The courage is to drive to the net when somebody's standing there waiting for you, and you got to go through sticks. Before, and Cam can identify with this, the courage was to get through the night and survive the night. Oh. But now it's a different kind. So I admire the athletes that have played this sport from all eras because I could never do it. I never learned to skate. Glenn Cochran, the legendary tough guy, tried to teach me once from by pushing around a chair when I was in the American League in the minors, tried to teach me how to skate. But I was never much of an athlete other than a baseball player, and I was never really too good at doing that. But anyhow, the 80s always appealed to me because there was a lot of scoring and there was an element of toughness about it. But we've learned a lot about the whole nature of what comes from any kind of lopsided fighting or any career in that we didn't know then. And I think probably with mixed martial arts and so forth, as I expressed in the book that I wrote, there's a lack of comfort that I have with certain matchups in fights. I still think that fighting majors can lead to a change in the course of a game. And for that reason, sometimes that they are pivotal as you look back on a game. But when it comes to the large number that we used to see in the 1970s and 80s, they have changed along with the nature of the sport, and that's okay.
Okay, so
I get you.
Listen, you're a Hall of Fame broadcaster, and all those years you worked with the Devils, and you're flying commercial. I mean, all these other broadcasters around the league, for the most part, right? They fly with the team. They're on the charter flights. Game's over. They jump on the plane. They're having lobster, everything like that. Mm-hmm. You had to fly commercial. Did you ever go up to Lou Lamoriello and be like, can I please get on the plane? Like, why do I have to fly commercial? Like, was that hard for you to deal with? How difficult was that, Doc?
No, because I knew going in that was the way it was. And I didn't pay for the flights. So it was fine. And the other thing, too, was I worked for Madison Square Garden in New York. They treated me really well. And there was a period of time when in the latter stages of my career with the Garden, like the last 15 years out of the 21 that I did Devils games, that they enabled me to base my living in the area where I am now. My wife and I have lived in about an hour north of Detroit. There are deer and cows between us and Detroit. We've been able to live here for 25 years now. And during about the last 15 of my Devils career, they arranged for me to just commute from Detroit to Newark. I could fly at 5:45 in the morning from Detroit and land in Newark at about 8, and I could be in the arena at 8:45 or so, and the morning skate for the home team was not until 10:30. Yep. And I'll never forget, it was, I don't think, a call-up. I think it may have been your first NHL game was in New Jersey.
Madison Square Gardens, actually, against the Rangers.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're calling that. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay. It was one of the times that I remember distinctly. It was in the Devil's room at the Meadowlands. And, of course, knowing you were from St. Louis, I walked up to you, and there was at that time a famous vendor at Busch Stadium who had a specific call as he vended. And I walked up to you and I said that, and you said, I know that guy. And what I said to you was, Bud Light, Bud Light.
Oh, trust me,
everybody knows that guy.
My dad spent a lot of money with that guy.
Bud Light, Bud Light. I mean, hey, actually, that was Cam. Yeah, that was his summer job back in the day, Doc.
Exactly. This guy's getting a good workout. No, I know. No, isn't it weird? Like, how was your relation? You know how much I love that man, Lou Lamoriello, and what he's done for me. And we have so many different people on this podcast, and everybody has kind of a different kind of view of Lou, but they all respect him in a way. How was your relationship with him? Oh, yes. This is not making anything public that hasn't already been publicized. In 1993, I guess there's a way to say it, that I was fired in Philadelphia, but I was not renewed. How's that? Yeah.
And Lou had contacted me about the Sports Channel job in New Jersey. And one of the things that had happened during my time in Philadelphia, and it happens in a lot of one-team towns where there is strong, how's that for diplomacy, strong ownership that wants the broadcast a certain way. Mm-hmm. And when Lou contacted me, one of the things that ownership wanted was a partial call, and I was not very good at that in Philadelphia, and I admit that. And as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, I was enamored with the Pirates because of their partial announcer in the 1950s and 60s named Bob Prince. So I knew what people liked, but I was just not cut out to do that sort of call, especially during my 5 years in Philly, where the team missed the playoffs 4 of the 5 years. They weren't performing very well, and it was hard for me, at least, to do that. Well, anyway, in this conversation with Lou, I said, I've had some difficulty in Philadelphia because of the concern about being partial. And he said, you're not very good to me if you can't say what you think. Mm. Oh, yeah. And that was good enough for me. And Lou was always a positive in my corner. We had, during the time that I was with the Devils, both of my parents passed away. We had one situation where I had to miss some games, and I missed the 2002 Olympics because one of our dogs was terminally ill. Most people, not most people, but a lot of people didn't understand that. But Lou did, even though he was not a dog owner himself. He was on the phone with me a couple of times, and he understood that. Well, that goes a long way in shaping the relationship you have with someone who is not even your boss. I worked for the network. I didn't work for Lou. I was not a Devils employee, but he was there, and he still is. Here's a story that goes way back to Lou's origins. As a stick boy in Providence, Rhode Island, he was the local guy that would get the sticks for the players. And I don't know what year this was, but the Providence Reds were an American Hockey League team at a time when all of those players, had there been more than 6 teams in the NHL, those guys would have all been NHLers. Probably 1940s, maybe early 1950s, somewhere in there. So Lou was a stick boy. And Providence would go into Hershey at around Christmas time. And in the Hershey lodge where the Providence Reds stayed, there was a gift shop. And one of the things that at that time and ever since you can get in the gift shop is a 5-pound Hershey bar. You imagine how big this thing is.
5 pounds. Bigger than
yeah. Well, the trainer for the Providence Reds, and Lou recounted this to me once, because before we moved out here to Michigan, we lived in Hershey and commuted, from there. And he recounted that story to me, how the trainer, every time there was a December trip to Hershey by Providence, the trainer would bring him back in gratitude for him being the loyal stick boy, would give him a 5-pound Hershey bar for Christmas.
I can't imagine him being a stick boy, by the way. I just can't picture that in my head.
He ran the organization as the stick boy.
He was a rink rat that just loved to be around the rink, and that love for that, I guess, has been the reason he stayed around hockey. Now he's 79? Yeah. But anyway, Joyce and I sent him a 5-pound Hershey bar for Christmas every year.
Oh, that's great.
Just as a reminder, a reminiscence, because we all like to reminisce at Christmas time, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And so those are things that we like to go back to in our childhood. And I have no idea what it was like in the Providence rink, other than I'm sure it was plastic coated wire or chicken wire above the boards and all of that, because that was the archaic time. But they still sell. In Hershey, they still sell the 5-pound Hershey bar.
Wow, Doc.
But no, he's special to us, and I'm glad to hear that you felt he did well by your career.
The Cam Strick Podcast is brought to you by Bellman and Bellman.com. BEHLMANN.com. Get out there to Detroit, Missouri. Check it out. On one side, you got the Buick, the GMC, options for everybody. Then right across the street, you got the Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Again, find something that works for you and get yourself a new set of wheels in time for the winter. Now, back to the interview. Hey, did you ever have a moment, I mean, I'm sure you did at some point in time, but one that you can share with us, from a player, coach, manager, where they didn't like something that you said? And you just kind of talked about, hey, sometimes, you work for a broadcast, they want you to be a homer and whatever. Did you ever have a run-in? Because there's some famous run-ins that broadcasters have had with coaches and players. I mean, they get upset. Did that ever happen to you?
I'm trying to think now. It was probably in the 7 years I spent in the minors. I'm trying to think. There was a great player on the Devils, and I think, Cam, you may have met him, named Mike Peluso.
Oh yeah.
Tough
Mike,
he's
been through some tough times.
Guy, yeah.
He's been through some tough
Mike
times.
was one of the great souls of our of the Devils team. He was on the crash line with Bobby Holik and Randy McKay, and they won a championship in 1995. Well, Mike was a strong-willed player who sometimes, like Bobby Holik admitted that he was too, would play at the edge or over. And he cross-checked one of the Bruins, and I made mention after seeing the replay that the league is certainly going to take a look at that. And that was probably a safe thing to say for a network announcer at the time, looking at it on television, and Mike was suspended the next day. I felt a little guilty about pointing out the obvious because Mike was such a likable guy, but that was a part of my job. About 10 days later, I saw Mike working on his stick at the Vice out in the hallway. And I said, Mike, I just want you to know, I hope you don't think that I got you in any kind of trouble. And he wrapped his arms around me and gave me a hug. And I felt that's about as good as player understanding can get. And the last time I never had any ill will from Mike at any time because he was always one of those great sensitive players. In the 1995 final in Game 4, with 7 minutes to go, they're going to beat Detroit in Game 4, and they're going to win the Stanley Cup for New Jersey for the very first time. And John Davidson is pointing out during one of our commercial breaks that Mike is crying at the bench.
I remember that. I remember watching that. Yep.
And so he pointed out when we came back, they showed a replay of it, and he said, I think he's going to miss a shift because it's just such an emotional time for him. And sure enough, even as you see him in the handshake line with Detroit after, he's sort of shaking his bushy hair back because he is so emotional about the fact that he has just won the Stanley Cup that his emotions just got the better. Well, good for him. So we're in Minnesota about 10 years later, and Chico and I are there. And Mike, of course, was from northern Minnesota, and Mike's in the building. So we got to get him on, right? And, of course, big smile on his face. Mike, what are you doing now? He's coaching girls hockey. And I'm thinking to myself, there probably couldn't be a better guy that would understand the whole notion of teaching the basics of the sport and skating and all of those kinds of things. Because at one point, I remember one of my broadcast partners asked him, what was the most difficult thing about the sport? And he said, knowing that there's a play to be made and I can see it, but I can't make it. And that's the most frustrating thing because I know I can help my team, but I can't make that play. Yeah. Other guys on my team might be able to, but I'm not able to. And I always had admiration for guys a lot of times that were third and fourth line players because they had to work so much harder just to reach this level than the guys that were born genetically or however it came to them with a great natural ability. But I have great respect for guys like Mike because of who they are and the kind of soul they have.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's a great story.
I get you.
And listen, Doc, you work with so many different partners. Bill Clement, you mentioned Chico, John Davidson, Eddie Olczyk. We can go on and on with the guys that you worked with. Who was the most naturally gifted? You just mentioned that. Some guys are just born with it. Some guys have to work with it. Who's the most naturally gifted, most talented partner you had?
I have no idea. It's an 18-way tie as far as I'm concerned because they all prepared and they all enjoyed the job. And when the light was on, none of them, kind of like guys going out on the ice to play, nobody wanted to do a bad job. So they always worked hard at it and came ready to go. I'll talk about the most recent guy that I worked with, and that does not mean that the others weren't. But I'll point out the attributes of the most recent guy I worked with. Eddie Olczyk, I think, and Pat Foley, his current partner in Chicago, pointed this out. He said, I think Eddie Olczyk might have a photographic memory because he has the ability to know how a play happened without seeing the first replay. And he can point out what needs to be shown. And he can tell the truck so that they can show that in the first replay. And he will say exactly what caused that play to break down. Of course, that baffles me because I'm so busy trying to remember who had the puck last and who scored the goal. And of course, when the goal is scored, if it's a home goal, I don't say anything after anyway. I let the crowd go. And so it's all up to him, and he knows that. But he's such a horse guy anyway, that the only thing I said to Pat when he said that about his photographic memory was, I said, if he's got a photographic memory, then why does he need to go every day and read the racing form? But I guess the past performances change, and there are a lot of horses out there. But that would be just one. I know Bill Clement, when we first started with Versus and NBC, he was thrown into a studio setting where a lot of times he got things on the fly. And he was talking over replays that he hadn't seen during the intermission because things were sort of helter-skelter at the start. But Bill Clement is a former actor, and he and I would do opens, which were the on-camera things. We would do those, and then and he would do it perfectly. And that was rehearsal. And then when we did the on-camera live, it was word for word the same, because they were like spontaneous, well-delivered lines to him. But he could do it perfectly twice. And of course I couldn't, because for me it was kind of like, okay, I got through that. Okay, now I got to get through the on-camera live and see how that goes. But Bill could always replicate it, and you always knew that he was going to hand it to you the same way each time. But they're just been marvelous guys and wonderful stories from all of them. I'm sorry we don't have the time to do that.
No, I know. No, we've had Billy on, we've had JD on, whatever. But I do want to ask you, because like eventually towards the latter part of your career, I mean, you had two analysts, right? You had the guy next to you, whatever. Then you had the guy down below. Yeah. How difficult was that to try to work everybody in, Doc? Was that a challenge?
Well, it wasn't the first year, because we developed a rhythm because of our producer, Sam Flood at NBC. Pierre Maguire was inside the glass between the benches, and Sam would say every time Pierre was going to say something, Pierre can add. And John Davidson and I were in the booth at that time on NBC, and he would always say Pierre can add, which meant we knew that Pierre was going to speak. After 1 year, and John went to St. Louis then to become president of the team, Eddie Olczyk came in, and after 1 year, the rhythm had been developed, and so Pierre's mic was open. He did have a cough switch in case there were arguments between players or things that he had to cut out. But then Pierre's mic was open because we'd had 1 year of experience with it. So it was an adjustment at first, but it was not anything that you couldn't adjust to. It just took some time. That's all.
What about the even interviewing the coaches and things like that? I knew everything, of course, and I knew it wouldn't work, and I knew that the thing between the benches wouldn't work. I knew everything, right? I'd been in the business all that time, and it was the best thing that ever happened. Now everybody does it, but we had some of the most cooperative coaches. A guy like Mike Babcock was perfect for that. And I had said, gosh, that's not going to work. They aren't going to want to do that, because I was living in the past, and they were not only fine with it, but now it's the standard, and the position between the benches is the standard. Yep.
And so the combination of Sam Flood at NBC and Gary Bettman and convincing, Gary Bettman did convincing the Board of Governors and eventually the general managers and eventually the coaches that this is what needs to be done to make this thing with NBC work and to develop the game. And after 16 years of NBC's coverage, it has become the standard all around the league. But I'll never forget one of the how much time do you guys have?
We got time for you, Doc.
We got time for you, Doc.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
So anyway, one of the early ones, Mike Babcock is doing an interview with Pierre in the first year in Detroit. And it wound up, normally we did these during a commercial break, but it wound up because of some technical problem. We were back and play was on, and the interview was going on live while play was on. Mike didn't care. He adjusted to anything. So he's got the water bottle in his hand, and Pierre is asking him about it because the home coach always went in the first period and the visiting coach in the second. And Mike's being asked by Pierre, your thoughts on the game. Well, Detroit's staggering out of the blocks, and this is one of the great Detroit teams because this is 05, 06, and they're building towards something, and they're decent, Zetterberg, Datsuk. And anyway, so Mike's saying, we're in trouble here. We're not doing anything really very well. And the trouble is we're going up the middle with our passes, not off the boards. And at that moment, Nick Lidstrom sends a pass right up the middle that gets intercepted. And without hesitation, Babcock says, and there, our best player just did the same thing. But he said, we're going to correct it and we're going to be okay.
My God. That was and they probably, most coaches were annoyed by it, but gosh, almighty, just to get that info at the time. But yeah, we had him on the podcast.
Oh yeah, no, that was an interesting conversation, no question about it, Doc. What's the one rule you have as a play-by-play announcer for your color analyst or analyst? Like, is it like do not talk between the whistles? That's my time. Your time is after the whistle. Like, do you have to lay those ground rules with your partner? Like, what would bother you the most with an analyst?
No, there really weren't any rules that way because it was television. On radio, in the earlier years with radio, most of the guys knew if I ever told one, I don't remember, but they mostly knew that when the puck was moving, that belonged to the play-by-play guy because people would hear the puck off the glass or something, and if the analyst was talking, they thought, gee, that's odd. I wonder what's going on. They can't see the game on radio, so you've got to be talking about the game when something is happening. But on television, there are times when the analyst needs to jump in. And Eddie had that way too over the last 16 years of us working together. He had that way of knowing when the action was pretty feverish near the end and I needed a breath, of just putting in a short sentence. And of course, with the audience being able to see what was happening, if it was between the blue lines or if it was a safe play, he knew to get that sentence in. So no, he was wonderful that way, and he always had the ability to do that. But no, there were really no rules, especially with guys. By the time my career was near the end, I was working with guys that already had 15, 20 years of experience doing it. So there wasn't a whole lot of law that you needed to lay down, really.
There wasn't a young kid that's like, and all of a sudden there's a big goal, and you want to have the say.
They're talking over you.
And they're talking over you like, yay, yay. You're like, no, I got this call. Just like what Chris Kerber had to do with Game 7 or Patrick Maroon's overtime goal, things like that. But let me ask you this. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, finish.
No, I think that, and if you ever noticed, Eddie would always apologize if he stepped on me. He would always apologize for it. And I think that's, I never worried about him ever wanting to say something that he knew was going to jump over me because he just was that way. But I do hear broadcasters in sports and predominantly in other sports, and I can't imagine football, but they do. They're over each other. They can't wait to jump in ahead of the play-by-play guy and call a touchdown before he's described it. And I think that's offensive, but that's my own opinion, because I've been spoiled by Eddie all these years, who would always apologize for stepping on me, but I would do the same if I had one last thought and the rhythm of the situation was such that he would say something and then I would step on him. That was just something that I would do a normal conversation, as I already have here, where you guys were about to say something and I interrupted you. So.
No, you didn't. No. Andy interrupts me on the
Cam interrupts
You just interrupted me
time.
now. We work together so much. He drives me crazy with it. But it's all the fans love it. That's all that matters. Let me ask you something. It might be a corny question, Doc, but like, is there a moment where you are watching a game through all those years and something happened to where you were speechless and you're like, what? And you can't describe it, or something so bizarre in a game? Like, we all know the good things and some of the bad things, but like something so weird where it turned you speechless, which is probably hard to do. Loaded question.
Wow.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't.
You're speechless
I
now,
don't have
Doc.
an
There it
You're
is.
speechless now. First time ever.
Yeah, there it is. I guess you got me. I imagine if I thought long and hard about it, I probably would.
I'm sorry.
There was one in the American League that I think I had the presence of mind to keep on describing, but I had a color analyst named Frank Fixeris, who has passed now, who worked with me on the American Hockey League home games in Portland, Maine. And we had a well-known tough guy in the American League who was playing in the NHL, who was just, getting his stripes in the American League, named Chris Nyland. And so anyway, Chris gets tossed early in a game in Portland. Now, to leave the ice, you needed to go off where the Zamboni had. The visiting players had to exit on the Zamboni exit, which was a wide area, probably about 40 feet wide for the Zamboni, and there was a mat there for the visiting players to walk off. And bordering that area at the end of the ice was seating area. There was a high wall there to restrain the fans from getting down there, but the fans were there and they could, of course, shout at the visiting team as they came off. And so as Chris came off the ice, he got into a shouting match with some of the fans because Chris was a fiery guy anyway, and he was a really good fighter, but he was a fiery guy. And so he came off. Well, as it turned out, there were some of the fans that found a way to get down in that area, and included in the fan population, because Chris was from New England and Portland is in New England, Chris's father happened to be among the fan population that got down there too. And the Nova Scotia goaltender, Montreal's farm team, did something that left me speechless. He knew that he could take the end of his goal stick from the other side of the ice and insert it in a gash in the boards, between the boards, where the latch was. And from the ice side, flip that latch up. And he could also leave the ice and help his partner out. And the whole team could stream off the ice and help them out. And so it was a crazy melee down in the Zamboni area of Nova Scotia players, Chris Nyland, his father, some fans, and it was all when the game was still on. So it wasn't at the end of an intermission or at the end of a period or anything. It was all during the game. So I guess I was fortunate that I was working with a guy that did basketball play-by-play, but was serving as a hockey analyst who could take over and describe what was happening.
Oh yeah. Well, you've done. Listen,
chaos.
You've done water polo. I almost want to ask you to give us some water polo play-by-play, like right now.
Well, sometimes it was the same as hockey, and there were times in the first year that I did that in the 2004 Summer Olympics in Athens that I accidentally used the word puck instead of ball, and the color commentator I was working with, Julie Swale, laughed out loud because I got so excited about scoring plays and everything that I referred to it as a puck.
I've never made mistakes like that on the radio.
And
I'm perfect.
You called Packers games. I mean, really, honestly, it's more than just hockey. Yeah. But were you
ever it's a vicious game played with nets and goalies, and The only difference is you have no protection at all, and people come out of the water with welts all over them.
Oh my God!
Treading water.
Hey, last thing from me. Like, were you ever too sick to do a game? Like, did you ever do a game?
A lot of times.
When you had the flu, like 103-degree temperature, like, and you just had to grind through it?
Yeah. In the minors, I never missed a game, but there were times that I was there was 7 years in the minors, 4 in the IHL and 3 in the American League. And I never missed a game in those 7 years, but I shouldn't have been working some of those times. I remember a game that Port Huron played in Saginaw, and I was down to kind of a whisper, but I took some Vicks cough syrup with me. And during stoppages of play, I would take a swig of the bottle of cough syrup. And after I got on the bus following the game, I got through it okay. A scratched player named Doug Wilson, not the one that is famous with the Blackhawks and Sharks, a scratch player named Doug Wilson was up there with me during the game to just kind of help me in the intermissions. But anyhow, I looked at the back of the bottle, and I don't know if it was noticeable on the air because it wasn't recorded, but on the back of the bottle, it said alcohol content 35%. So that's the answer to your question.
Yeah, you sucked it up. Real quick, this is the last one from me. I just want to say, you were so good to me when I played for the Devils. Just the fight calls. I got to put all these on like a little DVD, take them back to all my buddies. Oh, they love you. They love you and Chico so much. Real quick. When you saw me come in 2005, though, did you ever think, like, no way this kid's going to make it? Like, what were your...
No.
Okay. I just wanted to know. I was curious.
Everyone else did, Doc.
I know. I was curious.
No, the reason that you were there was a need. And, you consider what the nature of the sport was in 2005. There were teams that would push other teams out. And that still happens. There are teams that physically are not. If you look at and then we're not talking about fighting necessarily, we're talking about big body teams have been winning championships. And so physical teams sometimes need a counteraction. And especially back at that time, there was more fighting that went on. But, as time has passed, that's not the case. But back then it was. And so, no, I didn't think there was any case where you might not last at all.
See, Andy?
There was a need for what you brought.
Well, thank you, Doc, again.
Oh, man.
You were just good to me, man. I'll
Doc,
never
you're so
forget
nice. I wish
You're
you
the
could,
best.
watch me go out and skate, and I could say, hey, do you think I could make it? And you'd be like, I think you can.
No, he would not say that. No, he would not say that. He's being honest. Doc, you're the man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wish you guys well.
Yep.
And if you celebrate Christmas, I hope it's a good one.
Likewise.
If you celebrate Hanukkah, it's already passed. And I wish you all a great New Year.
Absolutely.
You
too.
You do the same. Listen, all the best to
All the
you
best
and
to
your
you,
family,
Doc.
your horses, your animals,
Yep.
and
I love it.
you.
Congrats on a great career. Hey,
You're the man.
don't you have a book out? You want to plug your book
Yeah.
real quick if people are looking for last minute
It's
Christmas gifts?
it's in its second printing now, and I advise you to get the second edition, not only because it's cheaper. It's $16.95 in the U.S. as opposed to 20-something like the first one was, but it also has a 5-page epilogue in the back that's an update over the last year, and it's called Off Mike. It's written with Kevin Allen, who for 34 years covered the NHL for USA Today, and it's wherever books are sold. The second edition came out in October, and 100% of what I get, I don't even pay taxes. I pay taxes, but whatever I get as a check gets turned over to the hands-on care of animals.
I love it. I love
Go
it.
enjoy your life. Go enjoy yourself
Yeah,
with your
thank
lovely
you.
wife.
Happy
See you, Doc.
holidays,
Okay.
Doc.
See you. Happy
Be
holidays.
good.
See you, buddy.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? That interview was brought to you by Daredevil Hockey and daredevilhockey.com. Use that promo code today, Cam and Strick. It's going to save you 25%. All caps, Cam and Strick, Daredevil Hockey. Get yourself protected today. All right, that was Doc Emrick, baby.
Yeah, man. He's great. One of the best, if not the best.
You ever called your a blocker like the waffle board? You ever call it that?
I don't have enough verbs in my
He's got a lot of
vocabulary.
verbs. Worked with a lot of people.
Scribble, scrabble, scrindig down the it's all that shit. I don't know if that's the word, but he'd have
From small town Indiana, dude.
yeah, Indiana.
Hockey Hall of Famer.
It's like John Mellencamp.
Yeah. From Bloomington, yeah, John Mellencamp.
Do you know who that is?
Oh, yeah.
Name me a song. You're a Midwest boy.
No, it's like a USA song.
No, that's Bruce Springsteen.
I know. There's another one. No, I know Born in the USA is Springsteen. I know that. But
John
Mellencamp, dude, I know all his songs,
dude. He's fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah, no, super. Hey.
That's a Midwest. This is us.
His daughter's very cool, too.
This is us.
I know his daughter.
We're talking about Midwest folk.
Yeah,
you
dude.
think you're fucking New
John
York.
Cougar Mellencamp. He goes to all the
anymore.
Indiana games.
Ain't Cougar anymore.
Oh, he got rid of that?
No. You don't understand. They tell you what the fuck they want you to be.
Who tells you?
The record company who you sign
really?
with, Andy, who you get ripped off on. Yes. No, they go, you're John Cougar Mellencamp. And he's like, what? And he did it. And he's like, I'll get this fucking cougar out of here, although we like cougars. But the point is, they got it out. That's a record company for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, your brain is just filled
It's
with so much useless
My brain
information.
is fucked up, and I could be wrong on that.
Billy Huso named the second star, by the way,
Whatever.
of
He
the
should be.
NHL.
He's awesome, man. Good kid.
Billy Huso.
Who saw my sister?
He's like the nicest person. Could you ever be that nice?
No. I'm a nice dude, man. I really am. I treat you like I've known you for 18 years. That's nice.
Can I ask you, people who are really nice to your face, are they still nice when you walk away?
Well, why wouldn't they be? Okay. I don't treat them like shit. I don't act like
I'm not saying you. I'm saying people who are really nice in general.
You know what I do to people?
Like at the church.
You know what I do to
like
people?
That, you know?
Whenever I see people, I always find a way to give them a compliment. Mm-hmm. No matter what.
My wife's the same way.
Good. This is what I do.
The same way.
I'll look back. This kid the other night. I go, what's up? Can you take a picture of me? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I go, let me look at you. Look at that hair. Look at your hair. I go, and his wife was right there. You look like Alexander Steen. He looked like Steiner.
Oh, did he?
I go, you look like Steiner. Although you have teeth, which is good. Mm-hmm. And then I'll pump his tires up. I'm like, God, and I just pump him up. And his wife, like, they just like, wow, you're not supposed to pump me up. I'm supposed to pump you up. But I do that to them. Mm-hmm. It's like a reverse psychology. And then they like you. And I'm not even lying. Like, the guy looked good. I'm like, you fucking look cool. And then they're like, whoa, I thought you were going to want to talk about yourself, but I'm talking about him. And that goes a long way with people. Mm-hmm. Little things, Andy. And I don't force that. That's like comes natural to me.
Do you find that the NHL right now in the States, we're lacking that signature voice? I mean, I like Kenny Albert. Does a good job.
Yeah, he's cool.
And Brendan Burke does a good job. I mean, all these guys are good.
Yeah.
But are they lacking that, like, signature Hall of Fame voice right now? Some of the radio broadcasts have it. Like, Buffalo still has that Rick Jenneret.
He's fucking awesome.
He's the best, dude. I was listening to his call the other day.
And here they go. I love it. No, I just think that everybody's nerdy.
Is that what it is?
I just think that everybody's fucking nerdy. Anybody, Cam, you're nerdy. Fine, okay, I am. But I think everybody's nerdy.
Is hockey nerdy?
Kind of, in a way. Like, well, not the guys. It's just like the presentation is.
Mm-hmm. It is a
just
little
nerdy.
bit, yeah.
Like, man, I'm like, what's going on? That's just me, guys. I'm just saying, dude.
What does football do that's so different?
They have football.
It's
all fucking Michael Irvin and fucking all the guys are fucking talking about like they don't give a fuck. They just do it.
I know.
They just talk about shit, and then fucking Mahomes does this shit, and they're like, "What's up? What's up?" It's just easy. It's easy to watch. It's easy to watch. You know,
for everybody.
Don't preach at me. Don't preach at the folk that are all good people. For the most part, they're all good people.
Not everybody's good.
Never is everybody good, Andy. But let's look at the percentage of it. You're speaking to 89, 95% of the people that are good people, and you're like telling them this is what you need.
NHL teams have nerdy social media too.
Oh God,
we won't call any out.
They're all fucking nerdy. Besides a couple, but I get it, man. It's a business. But actually, Carolina's cool.
I know. Didn't they get called out though the other day for something? Whatever. Oh no, Marchand.
Funnier than fuck. I love you, Brad Marchand. I love him. Fuck
he said you're the reason why we're paying 20%.
You fucking
escrow.
nerds. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
And look, why?
And it's so true.
Who's comparing Trocheck to Marchand? Are you out of your fuck mind? Who the fuck
Who's doing that?
Somebody compared Trocheck to Marchand. Marchand's like, what the fuck did you say to me? Vinny Trocheck compared to me? Fucking Brad Marchand's a fucking king dick.
Do you like it when he takes the cell phone and stuff like that?
Fuck yeah. Damn right. You know what I don't like? Walking in like, hey, how you doing? What's your favorite? Like, I like Evgeny Malkin. Evgeny Malkin's cool. He's like, go fuck, get a better mic or go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, something like that. I don't just be different.
I know.
But be
different.
Be emotional with the fans. So when you fuck off the fans, unless you're doing a funny, cool, like, I want you to hate me way. That's cool. Like, you're doing something unique. I don't know.
But you know what?
I'm weird.
Carolina they get a little too confident.
That's true.
They got the surge.
I don't mind. Oh,
And,
that's still fucking goofy.
Okay.
So
They
you
got the
bust
surge.
your ass all day.
But you know what?
Andy.
Hey, Marchand will come at you because you're still holding the
He
league
owns you.
down.
He
Dude.
owns-
At the end of the day, Carolina,
Thank you.
you're still holding the league down.
Not yet, no. You look at the fucking
Florida, dude, they
they're not.
sell like glass tickets for like probably $30.
Okay, that could be
dude.
the
okay.
Well, there's still. If you look, I just saw a thing on the attendance. Like, I think Carolina's kind of up there a little
Doesn't
bit.
cost anything to go to the games.
Well, okay, fine, but that's North Carolina. You got to cater to the people on there.
Hell yeah.
You know?
There's a reason for it. They can't charge Toronto or Madison Square Garden.
But you're right,
so
though.
You can't necessarily chirp.
So if
them
I'm
too
Carolina
much for that.
players and I'm like, I just got my fingers broken. I got a concussion. I blocked 15 shots. I have a hole in my leg. I do this. Oh, you just won. Hey, can you go act like a bowling ball?
No, they race around with like a
I
checkered
don't want
flag.
to. I don't want to race. I want to get
That,
the fuck
to
off.
me, is not.
I'd rather do
Where's
like,
the leaders on the team being like, dude, we're not doing
or how
this
about like have certain fans get auctioned to go hang real quick with somebody
Come hang out in the room or
or
something.
something. Like, I gotta act like a goddamn bowling ball. Go fuck
We
yourself.
gotta have a race. What if those two guys? What if they would have collided
their
or
hamstring.
like pulled their hammy?
Like,
after
I just
the
got
game.
blocked. Andy, I get you.
It's like
much.
I don't know. So anyway, Marchand called him out. I thought it was hilarious.
Fucking hilarious, dude. I love it.
You know, the Panthers are good too, although they lost to Seattle. But you know what? They're bringing the league down also.
No shit.
Arizona bringing the league down.
Devils, love you. You're bringing it down right now.
Arizona, I know they've got all these issues with the building and stuff like that. But you know what? My sense is, like, at the end of the day, as much as Glendale doesn't like the Coyotes, they still need someone to fill those dates. Like, my guess is they're going to end up being there next year. That's just my guess. They could play in the ASU barn. Could you imagine an NHL team playing with like 5,000
No,
seats?
it's stupid.
That's embarrassing.
fucking embarrassing.
So if they can't figure it out, you just got to
Embarrassing
get
when
them out of
Hartford
there
had like
at some
fucking
point.
12,000 seats.
Who did?
Hartford.
I know. The 5,000?
No, it's
For an
12,000.
I know, but I'm saying 5,000.
No, that's
Aren't there,
ludicrous.
like, requirements, like how many seats you have to have? All right. So that was Doc Emrick, man, and we appreciate him coming on. With us, as always, baby. Episode number 170 on the Cam Strick Podcast. Again, pick up your 4-pack of that Cam Strick seltzer. If you're in the area, you check that out. I want to see people putting those pictures out on social media, Instagram, Twitter. Let me see where you're hanging out in your chill zone, popping that Cam Strick hard seltzer. Mango lemonade, baby. Let's see that. And we thank our friends over there at Four Hands Brewing Company for hosting a great event this past weekend. All right, the Cam Strick Podcast, as always, brought to you by Hair Club, hairclub.com. Again, go to hairclub.com/Cam Strick and book your first appointment from our landing page, and you're going to save $250. That's a pretty good deal right there. $250. You can always call 800-279-7878. Over 1,200 locations throughout the entire North America. You get a location no matter where you are, there's one close to you. Over 1,200. It's a lot. All right, CarShield and CarShield.com. Use that promo code CAM. It's saving you 10%. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't going to save you money. It's going to save you 10%. It's embarrassing, but it's going to save you 10%. 800-857-2481. 800-857-2481. Get that protection from CarShield and do it today. All right, the Better Business Bureau. We love our friends over there, the Better Business Bureau. Consumers turn to the BBB every day looking for businesses they can trust. So in 2021 alone, Cam, over 13 million instances of service for for customers.
Dang boy. Damn
That's
right.
a lot, dude.
Damn right.
Over 9,000 area businesses are accredited by the Better Business Bureau. And the BBB received over 215 million consumer inquiries on Better Business Bureau business profiles back in 2020. Mango. So check that out, bbb.org, and get all the information you need to know and get it from them today. All right, Bellman.com. Go see our boy Danny Boy today out there in Troy. Buick GMC, Cadillac, Buick GMC, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on the other side of the street. Get the car that's good for you that you need. They will buy your used car as well. They want that trade-in. They want you to do it right now.
Damn
So
right.
check it out.
No swinging dicks.
No. Over there at Bellman and Bellman.com. And, of course, Daredevil Hockey. Use that promo code Cam Strick, all caps. Get that protection. Skate lacerations, we all know they're no joke. Very, very serious. and get that protect. You don't even know you're wearing it. It's like a no-brainer. If you have kids, invest in the kids, invest in safety. Use that promo code Cam Strick, all caps. People have been reaching out saying, hey, what's that promo code? Daredevil Hockey. Pros are using it. Junior hockey players are using it. Be smart. Don't end up in the emergency room because of a skate laceration. So check out Daredevil Hockey. All right, this has been episode number 170, Cam, with Doc Emrick.
Yeah, baby.
And we appreciate Doc for coming on, dude. One of the all-time greats. We like talking to broadcasters.
Yes, we do.
They're easy to interview. We got a couple other ones that are going to be coming on here soon.
Yeah, we do.
Too. So we'll have some fun.
We always
with-
get the big dogs. You guys
some
know
of these
that
guys.
shit.
So this has been episode number 170
Lamoriello.
with the one and only Doc Emrick. Go to camandstrick.com. Thanks for all the support.